There we go. Commander Jacoby, whenever you are ready.
Okay, here we go. Captain's log started 53832.8. The crew of the Hadfield has spent the last week on the render station. It's been an exhausting week as myself and Commander Valak have been swapped over from officer to officer explaining exactly what happened at the Spectrum outpost. I'm fairly certain we're finally done, as we've all been cleared off this morning while I was having my coffee. New transfers are also approved on board, replacing our deceased Lieutenant Freewill. He will be taking his assignment on board our ship post-examination from Dr. Blackwell. From that, we await further orders. End log.
All right. So, let me go back to the 10th Fleet. Lieutenant, we're going to introduce you. We're going to introduce you last. I want to go down the list of everyone who's already been on the Hadfield before, and ask if anyone wants to run any scenes.
Run any seats?
Scenes.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing we're starting off with me, considering I'm first on the list. I'm good on scenes for the time being. We're still at the stage.
Yes, you are currently at Narendra.
You know what? I'd like to play some Dabo.
Oh my god. Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd like to play some Dabo. Yeah.
You gonna play
Play
Dabo.
dumb just human.
Spin the wheel and win! Oh boy.
He just plays it for the Dabo girls, man. We know this.
I have a focus in gambling, I'll have you
Yeah,
know.
he
so I'd like to
does.
play some
He's actually not entirely the worst at
That's like damned with faint praise, and it's not entirely the worst.
he's not entirely the worst.
Would you
at-
mind if Kiji plays as well?
Oh, of course. Anyone who wishes to join me for some Dabo is more
Okay,
than welcome to join.
you guys, the two of you guys play some Dabo.
Can I use my strong paw belief that the profits will bring me great profits?
I would like the two of you. Basically, what I'm gonna have you two do is I'm going to have you perform against each other. I'm gonna say daring command.
Oh, yes, that is my role.
Daring command.
My focus in gambling
Opposed.
totally applies here, right?
Yep, it does. You two roll against each other.
Do this.
And for the purposes of this, each of you are going to have your own little momentum pool.
Oh no, Dabo!
Yes.
Did the profits protect me?
I'll say it. I don't actually know the rules of Dabo, so.
To memory alpha, away!
To memory alpha. Yeah.
Which probably doesn't have
It's
the
basically roulette.
On the rules of. The first rule of Davo is watch the wheel, not the. God damn it!
I guess I was watching the girl this
That
time.
doesn't help. Okay, here we go. I'll give you this. You're playing pretty well there, Jacoby. But then Jueza bets triple down and calls your bluff, and yeah, he outbid you.
Chief. What the hell was that?
The profits were speaking to me, sir.
That's a bunch of bullshit. I say we roll again.
Do not be angry at the profits, sir.
Oh, I'm angry because I'm losing my latinum.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to import a counselor.
Give me another roll, Grennan.
Okay, two of you roll it. I'm gonna say Jacoby, you are currently gonna have to. You're gonna also have to. You're operating at a +1 difficulty now.
Okay, so
I don't know,
whatever
Kiji
he
just
rolls
wants
plus...
to walk away with his winnings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling against myself. That's good.
Well, you both of you.
Oh my god! That's the second nat 20 that I... What?
And Jueza, roll.
Third rule of Dabo, the house always
Oh my
wins.
god! That is the second... Yeah, I give
This
up.
Hey, maybe you're just getting them out before the life and death rolls happen.
I'm sorry, sir. The prophets are not with you
Yeah,
today.
Both ways.
Jacoby, Jueza, Jueza completely busts you out by betting quadruple through, which is an incredibly risky move. But boy, I gotta tell you, you had a real crap roll.
I am going to facepalm and just kind of sink my head into the table and summon the waiter.
Commander, before you leave the table,
That's great. Oh,
I'm still at the table. I'm just slumping in it.
yes, but if we're done, would you mind helping me carry my latinum?
yeah. As,
Nice.
as they
Chief?
yes, as
Chief,
as the Dabo girl, the very pretty Dabo girl slides
Is there any
over
other
a
kind?
small like pile of latinum, maybe 4
Thank
inches, 4 inches wide, 6 inches long, maybe about, I'd say, like 25 strips of latinum.
Cold press.
Chief,
gold press
get
latinum.
out of my sight before I court-martial you.
Is that a no on helping me carry it, sir?
That is a no, Chief. Get out.
Yes, sir.
Waiter, more canar.
Oh, dear.
It's like alcoholic syrup.
it is.
It's basically Jaeger.
It's fair enough.
Oh,
I don't think
man.
they drink it chilled. Fucking spoonheads.
Oh boy. So what I think I'm gonna do is the next thing I want to do before anyone else does a scene. I'd like to quickly hop over to Dr. Blackwell.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, since if I have a little downtime, I'm probably in my quarters with a glass of iced tea, reading the latest issue of the Federation Journal of Xenobiology.
So you're in your
Or
quarters.
I could be on duty, whatever
No,
works for
that's
you.
fine. I think you're actually I think you have a senior officer's quarters, I think.
Yeah, there's one like right by sick bay in the plans. I figured that was
Yeah, so I'm gonna
mine.
make that. That's because that's one of the actual like decent quarters.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the. I think that's this one that you get. Because you. Oh, god damn it! What is this? I forgot.
No,
about
that'll work.
that.
Stupid design for a table. It is a stupid design for a table.
So good.
It's a
Oh,
weird
you
design,
guys are
man.
so entertaining. Oh, you're so
Look at
entertaining.
this table. Look at this
I'm
table.
gonna turn on the hum. So, you are in your quarters.
Yeah, so I'll be like kicked back in my comfy chair with a pad and glass of tea, reading.
You get a sort of the chirp.
Right.
On your on one of your wall terminals. It appears that there is a notice for you, a transmission that has come in.
Well, I shall read that notice.
All right. It is a notice from the desk of one Admiral Eric Pressman. And notes that due to your actions during your actions while at the Spectrum outpost, you've put yourself in a very dangerous position in order to save your superior officer, who was directly in the line of fire, and brought him basically back from the brink of death. And it is for this reason that, at the recommendation of course, your own captain, and your own commanding officer, as well as Captain Herschel LaCroix, you are being awarded the Starfleet Citation for Conspicuous Gallantry.
Oh, nice.
Equivalent to the Medal of Honor, isn't it?
No, it's not that high. I think there is actually a Medal of Honor.
There is the Starfleet Medal of Honor, and that's a different thing. So you're going to want to note that down, and what it does for you is Once per mission, when the character pays for an immediate momentum spend of any kind by adding to threat, you can re-roll 1 challenge die per point of threat added. For each effect rolled, that threat gets removed.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So basically, you're in your last-ditch situation, and you don't have any momentum, and you say, all right, I'm going to spend 3 threat to get some dice because I don't have any, and I need to make this roll. You get to roll. You can choose to use your Starfleet citation for conspicuous gallantry, and you roll 3 challenge dice for the 3 threat you spent, and for each effect rolled, you get to ignore one of those threat.
Nice. Let me put that on my notes in the character sheet.
So you have now.
Woohoo! Middle.
Yeah, you have a citation, or a commendation on your record. So that is what
Excellent.
So that's what I wanted to run by you. Anyone
Nice.
else want to do a scene?
I had an idea for one, but I don't think I'm quite ready for it yet. Perhaps next game.
Okay, that's totally fine by me. Anyone else, like you, Valak, or you, Kiji?
Can I take all the winnings I just got from the commander and go and like pimp out my phaser rifle?
Oh yes, you buy.
Who wants to bedazzle it?
You buy it. Yeah, you go over to you go over to one of sort of the general stores, run by so you go over to one of the general stores that's on the station, one of the civilian trader posts, and you walk up, and I'm gonna say there's a rather slender-looking Denobulan male wearing civilian clothing, and he's you see he's chatting up a couple of customers, and he's going, oh, what, don't you know that you want one of these, want one of these, want one of these? And it's, it's absolutely compliments you, and, it's clear that he's doing sort of the whole quick talk thing.
I just want a really nice phaser rifle.
Ooh, really nice phaser rifle. You, sir, are a man of culture. I can probably put my hands on, I don't know if I can put my hands on a phaser rifle, but I could probably put my hands on some premium parts for you.
Okay.
Not really allowed to dabble in weaponry, station rules, contraband, and everything.
Oh, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Okay, let me see what I can find you. And, he crumbles into the back, and he comes out a few minutes later with a few parts that, you figure you could put on your own personal phaser rifle, and it would sort of cut down a little bit of the bulk, make the whole thing a little sleeker. Because if you've seen those phaser rifles they carry around, they're pretty bulky. They're pretty bulky around the edges. This would let you skim some of that off.
Very nice, very nice. Now, these aren't substandard parts, are they?
Oh, no, nothing but the best for my customers. Nothing but the best.
I give him a very long, deep stare.
Oh no. Here it comes.
Nothing but the best.
That's good.
And by the by, this whole time he's doing he has his hands together. It's hard because I can't show it. I can't show you. If this were a video, it would be so easy for you to see it. He has his hands clasped together, and they're at about chest height, like, right in front of his chest, and he's sort of rocking his cupped hands together back and forth, like, can you imagine what I'm talking about?
He's rubbing his hands.
Let me find it. Just because it's
Like maliciously?
no.
He's ringing them, I think you mean.
He's doing this. He's doing. Let me find the Hadfield chat. He's doing. No, because that's just a PNG. I need a GIF so that you guys can properly see it.
He's preparing a snowball to throw at you.
Oh, look at that, DuckDuckGo.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it. Yes, that. He's doing that.
That works.
So yeah, I'll just walk up to him and just get real close to him.
God.
And I just very calmly, while not blinking at all, say, I know where you are if these don't work.
I mean, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. My shop doesn't go anywhere.
Of course. And just remember, I was a freedom fighter. I know people. People who can make things happen. If I was not satisfied with my purchase today. You understand, of course.
You are a Starfleet officer, correct?
Am
Yes,
I?
the Bajoran Starfleet officer. As I give him a very big smile.
Have a nice day. And he takes your latinum and he goes behind the counter and he leaves the shop. he leaves the storefront. And I assume
That poor man.
I assume you're leaving the shop now.
Oh yeah.
About 10 seconds after you leave the shop, you look back and the shop has been closed for the day.
Huh. I guess business wasn't as good as he said.
That's big rip.
Big rip. So in that case, the next thing, anyone else have anything they want to do?
Well, at some point, and since we started late, it doesn't have to be this week, but I do want to get back to the research on the neurological device.
Oh, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So, I am going to pop us up to sickbay and turn on the sickbay ambience. So, do you remember what we were at last time? 'Cause it's
Yeah,
been a while.
we designed we basically did the engineering design specs for the device, and it was Reason Engineering Difficulty 3, and it came out. We have the basic design and size of the device we're trying to create.
Okay. In that case, this check, this last part of it, is going to be a extended task, of which, again, you only get to do one per thing. It is going to be a control engineering, and, you can have an assist on this, by, Velok. This will be control engineering, difficulty, I'm gonna say 3, work track 10, magnitude 3.
Any resistance?
No resistance.
Okay.
And
so
this is gonna be the last task of this R&D project.
okay. So Velok, you want to lead, and I don't know what's your engineering like, Rugon.
Well, you have to lead because you're the research lead on this. Remember?
Yeah, you are. Velok only
It's
gets it.
engineering. That sucks.
Because Velok tried to do it on his lonesome when you weren't here, and he couldn't because you're the researcher.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Velok wanted to do it, and I had to turn him down because you're the one in charge of this.
Okay. So Velok, will you assist?
That I can do.
Okay. So what do we got? Difficulty 3, work 10, mag 3, control engineering. Oh my gosh, I'm rolling up all of a 12 with that. So let's see.
Oh yes, and how many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 12
Yeah,
threat.
correct.
I start with 12 threat.
You might be getting more. Who knows?
Yes, sirree.
Okay. So yeah, actually, I'm going to invoke my citation.
my goodness. Wow. Just alrighty.
Well, I don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of engineering, so I'm gonna give you 3 threat for
Okay.
2 extra dice.
Well, first off, roll 3 challenge dice.
Okay. Nope. No effects.
I get all 3 of that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And then so let's see
Yes,
difficulty.
How I'm going to rationalize this is you have the computers working overtime on this.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, still need Velok to come through.
Yep, that's gonna be control engineering, Velok. And you get a momentum.
And
My brother.
It's a goddamn 2. Yay, first momentum of the day, guys.
That's it.
Yep. So now you get to Blackwell. You get to roll another 3 challenge dice.
Only 3? Dang.
Yeah, because this is not your day.
This is gonna take a while.
Yep.
Huh.
That's 3. That's 3.
Yep.
Okay, just note that down.
Yep. So that brings the work down to 7.
Mm-hmm. That brings
No breakthroughs.
no breakthroughs, but you only need 3 of them.
Right.
So, I'll give you the hint, Blackwell. This is one of those things that sometimes you might want to do this in the middle of a session, rather than at the beginning when you have no resources.
Fair point.
Anywho, so, the 2 of you work for a few hours on it, and after a couple hours, you've made some progress, and, what's her name? I just had it up. Damn it. Nurse Raki comes in, carrying a couple of pads.
Nurse?
Dr. Blackwell, I have some of the recent crew transfers. Everything seems to be in order, but there are a couple of special cases that need your personal attention. A couple of things that need your clearance first.
Well, I think we have probably done about as much as we can do on this for the moment, Velok, don't you?
Agreed.
So we'll reconvene some other time. Sure, what do we got, Rocky?
Alright, as I said, the most pressing one is going to be the new helmsman.
What seems to be the issues?
Are you gonna look at the file?
Yeah.
So you pick up the file and you skim through it, and it is the file of one Lieutenant Tev Tzonin, an Andorian. The most important thing that you note, sort of in big impressive letters, in one of the first few columns of the info on this file, is cybernetic implant.
What, where?
If you
A neural interface.
Yep.
Okay.
You read it. You start reading the file, and it would appear that he has a neural interface that replaces an antenna.
Huh.
And allows for a complete neural uplink to the ship's computer systems. Hence needing your clearance.
What kind of clearance?
Basically, you need to say, yes, that's okay. This person, after reading this file and presumably talking with this person, I am okay with letting them hook their brain up to the ship's computer.
Okay. Well, let me spend a little bit of time skimming some articles and whatnot, and kind of bring myself a little more up to speed on this kind of neural interface before I have a little sit down with. Could you spell the last name for me? I can't see his name in the character list.
It's in the Discord.
And the Discord. I do not see it in the Discord.
It's
His name on Discord. Look to the side. The crew of the head.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
there you go. Now you should
See
be
it
able to see it in the roll 22.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Just wanted to have the name spelled right. And after that, I'll call Tizonin to my office in sickbay.
So yeah, Zonin, your comm badge.
This is the Zonin.
Lieutenant, this is Dr. Blackwell, Chief Medical Officer. Could you please report to my office at your earliest convenience?
Right away, sir. And off to the sick bay I go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do I actually? Yes, I do.
Nice.
Satisfying.
I love it.
So satisfying.
Lieutenant Tizonin, welcome aboard the Hadfield, and I offer my hand.
I take it and shake it.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
And Tizonin, looking around, this is probably one of the most advanced medical labs you have ever been in. You walk in and you feel like you've maybe walked into a starbase sick bay, or this is also semi-reminiscent of did you ever give him a name?
Who? Huh?
This is something for him. Did you ever give that guy a name?
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay, we'll discuss that later. Never mind then. Carry on.
Wow, the sick bay is pretty advanced for a ship this size. What's up with that?
Well, the Hadfield is a cutting-edge scientific vessel, and part of that is, of course, not only medical research, but the ability to respond to any sort of medical situations we may come across. We are out in front of the 10th Fleet, seeing and discovering things that honestly have never been seen or discovered before, and potentially that could mean some serious complications and trouble. Fortunately, thus far, we've been both lucky and skilled. So, but just in case, and we're ready for pretty much anything. We're small, but we pack a lot of ability in this little ship. So go ahead.
So in general, this ship is just so advanced as to prepare for the unknown?
That's because that's what we do every day. We encounter the unknown. Remind me to tell you about the life form that gestates inside of a sun that we helped midwife one day. But in the meantime, as I'm sure you know, you need the Chief Medical Officer's okay before we can allow your neural interface access to the ship's computers. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to stretch out in a bio-bed and let me get a scan, make sure all the connections seem to be working as they should. Nothing invasive, just a routine scan, and lets me get a baseline on your cybernetic interface as well.
Sounds good. I get on the bed and just relax.
Okay, yep. And I let me use some terminology from the science book. Yeah, so I'll let him get on the bio bed, make sure all of the standard readouts look good. And then, where is it? Yeah, and I will use the neurocortical monitor to make a scan of the his neurocortex.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find that. That's actually in the core rule book.
Yep.
Since we're on sick bay, I'll use that instead of.
So yeah, I'll say that's fine. You take a look at his brain activity, and it appears that his brain is capable of working perfectly in tandem with this computer interface. Basically, the antenna not only performs its regular function as a balancing mechanism for the Andorian, which is that's
Right.
part of their biology, but it also performs double duty as a neural uplink to the ship's computer, enabling him not only better access to the ship's computer, but also a better personal sense of balance.
So, have you ever had any troubles uplinking to various computer systems? Any dizziness, vertigo, feedback of any kind?
Lately, no. However, when I first did attempt to do such a thing, naturally, it wouldn't have been as easy. But as I've grown more accustomed to the implant and whatnot, it has it's been fine.
And how long have you had this?
I've had the implant for about 2 years now.
Okay. And you have been vetted thoroughly by Starfleet, and all your securities are in place. And as from what I'm reading, this device doesn't let you access areas that are beyond your security clearance in any event. So did my scan show anything?
I mean, nothing.
Everything looks good.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean,
Okay.
according to everything that you've read, this is probably going to be a rather routine deal anyway.
Okay. All right, Lieutenant. Everything looks good here, and I sign off on the pad or whatever the equivalent is. I think you are good to go. Welcome aboard the Hadfield. Have you reported into the XO yet?
No, not yet. I just arrived.
Well, the hierarchy of the Hadfield is a bit different than you may be used to. Our XO is also our chief engineer, so were I you, I would seek him first in engineering rather than on the bridge or in his office.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you, Doctor.
Again, I look forward to working with you.
You as well.
All
Right, off to engineering.
And
I love it.
and then a short turbo lift ride later. I'm gonna turn off the engineering and turn on the. Do I have? Yes, I do. I do have the engineering. So you step into engineering. I forget. Have you already dropped your stuff off back at your own room?
I have not unpacked.
So you still have like a duffel bag slung over your shoulder.
Awesome.
So you walk into main engineering, and looking around, you see a number of people running about performing various tasks. There's another Andorian working. Another Andorian, wearing the operations yellow, working a terminal about 5 feet from you. But standing next to the main warp core at this terminal right here, you see a Vulcan wearing operations yellow, and with the he has the he has the lieutenant commander, so it's the that's 2 pips in the blank, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And he's working that terminal right at the warp core, while a few other very nondescript yellow shirts bustle about,
Abyss, drop the magnetic containment down 0.27%.
Yes, Lieutenant Commander. Done. Hit it.
Very good.
All right.
And then the other Andorian looks over and he sees you because he was sort of looking around at these panels. He sees you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can we help you?"
I'm looking for the XO.
That would be that'd be old pointy ears right here.
Good to know. I approached the warp core, or more specifically, approached the lieutenant commander, and they greet him.
And so Valak, this Andorian, walks up to you and he's I forget, as a helm officer, don't they wear red?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear
Yeah.
the red, and he has the lieutenant junior grade pips, so the one in the blank. So this Andorian walks up to you, and the most striking thing, you've sort of seen one of these sort of deals before, but this one looks a bit different. This Andorian is missing his left antenna, and it appears to be replaced with some sort of cybernetic prosthesis.
I'll kind of just glance up at it real quick and say, intriguing. What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
I'm the new transfer for this ship. I was wondering if I could perhaps report in, or if you're too busy, I can come back at another time.
I will say, Valak, there are a few new transfers, probably about half a dozen or so.
Oh.
So, well, I'm saying that to Valak.
Con officer.
I'm saying that to Valak.
Okay.
Specifically. So you don't know exactly who this person is.
Yes, sorry, Lieutenant, we've had quite a few transfers, and what role are you hoping to take up?
Oh, I'm the new con officer, sir. Helmsman.
I see. Well, hopefully you serve us well.
Thank you, sir.
Have you reported in to Dr. Blackwell yet?
Yes, the doctor and I spoke before I came here, and he told me to come report in to you.
Very good. Any cybernetic issues need to be checked with him, and I'm sorry, cybernetics is a bit of how would you say, a passion? No, hobby. That's the word. Hobby of mine.
Okay, when a Vulcan says hobby, they mean passion. That's as close as a Vulcan gets to
Believe in
a
passion.
That's as close as a Vulcan gets to a passion.
Well, that's very interesting to know, sir. Perhaps if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Indeed. Is it purely for the purpose of replacing the biology, or is it also an enhancement?
Along with replacing the functions of what a normal Andorian antenna serves, it also provides me with a neural. Sorry. It also acts as a neural interface that to allow me to communicate with various ship systems and whatnot.
Fascinating. That would cut down on time considerably.
Yes, I found it to be quite useful.
Well, at the moment here, I am attempting to make adjustments to improve warp efficiency, but we can discuss more later when I'm off duty. But I will say, if everything's checked out with Dr. Blackwell, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. about face and head out of the room.
Okay. So with this, I'm actually going to go to Commander Jacoby, who I presume you said you wanted to get some Kanar, so I assume you're at the lounge.
Kanar.
Yep. You are currently sitting in the Infinity Lounge.
Same place where people got murdered last time.
Yeah, last time you were here, someone was murdered.
This on the render station.
Yep, you guys are at Narendra Station.
Although, does he have any latinum left to pay for it?
Kanar is free.
Kanar
For-
free.
For officers of Starfleet, Kanar is always free.
Yeah, but you can get Kanar from one of the replicators.
Because there are not enough Cardassians here to let them sell it. So they have to give it away.
Womp womp. And shoot, I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the bartender was Bolian.
Yep,
He
was.
I'm pretty sure that's what I made the bartender.
Yeah, it's stuck in my memory. Big
Yep.
Bull.
Yep, way back in September.
Way back. Man, it feels like ages ago.
So, yeah, he's sort of. Are you at the bar?
I'm at the bar, kind of looking slumped, just
Wait a second.
slowly sipping it.
Now that I squint at it, is that bottle on the bar in the picture actually a bottle of Kanar?
I'm thinking so, and there's another one over by the couches.
Like, that looks like a bottle of
By the
Kanar.
couches.
I know my stuff, gentlemen.
There are two more on other tables.
Yeah.
Does it
I am-
though?
I am clairvoyant.
So, yeah, you're sitting there, and the bartender's wiping one of the glasses. Rough day at the Dabo table?
Don't ask me anything, man. I'll take another sip of Kanar.
I won't. That's what I'm here for, or not here for.
Just get me another bottle.
Look, he takes the glass in his hand, sort of turns it, looks at it, you know, trying to see how clear it is, nods, sets it down, goes into the back and to presumably get another bottle of Kanar. When Commander, your comm badge chirps, and I'll do the do.
Yes, this is Commander Jacoby.
This is Rear Admiral LaVey. We need you up in ops.
Rear Admiral. Oh, I'll stand up real quickly, like panicked. Yes, sir. On my.
Mhm.
And I'll sprint over there. You don't ignore an order from a Rear Admiral.
Yep. And at about the same time, Dr. Blackwell, your comm badge chirps.
Blackwell here.
Dr. Blackwell, this is Rear Admiral LaVey. Your presence is needed back on Narendra Station at our ops center.
I'm on my way, Admiral.
All right, and I don't have a map for ops, so I'll just
Theater of the mind.
I'll do this.
Hey,
This'll do.
Starbase.
Yep. This is the Modifius art for Narendra Station.
Cool.
So, at about the same time, Commander Jacoby, you run into Dr. Blackwell.
Sam, what are you up to?
I got a call from a Rear Admiral LeVay ordering me to ops. How about you?
Well, just the same. I was enjoying a nice bottle of Kanar, and then Rear Admiral chirps in. You don't exactly ignore an order from a Rear Admiral, do you?
This can't be anything good, Skipper. With trying to get the Hadfield and the medical department involved at once.
Let's just go. Does my breath smell of Kanar?
It does.
Is it a day that ends in Y, Skipper?
Smart ass.
Are you gonna walk in?
Yeah.
Yep.
You walk in, and you see the bustling ops center of Narendra Station. You see in the back Admiral Hebert and sitting at one of the terminals is Rear Admiral Calrog, who you've had more. Calrog is the one, Commander Jacoby, who you've had more personal interactions with.
The science guy.
Yeah, Calrog, the science guy. So no, but the two of them don't really seem to be paying you much mind. They sort of look at you when you walk in and acknowledge that you have entered the room, but then they go back to what they're doing. And approaching you, also wearing the similar Rear Admiral strips that Calrog wears, is a human woman with blonde hair tied up in a neat bun.
I'm gonna poke, just ever so slightly poke the doctor in the ribs and just kind of whisper over, which one's the rear ad?
The one with all the scrambled eggs on her arms heading towards us.
You're right. Straighten up.
Commander, if the two of you would be so kind as to follow me.
Of course, Rear Admiral.
Yep.
And the two of you follow her into a conference room. It appears that there are a couple of these off of Ops. If you've been around a render station, you'll know that there are a few other conference areas like this, but there are specifically a couple off of Ops. Because again, this is a full-on spaceport.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're gonna have conferences, lots of them. So you walk into this neat little conference room, and Rear Admiral LeVay takes a seat, and she says, "Please, gentlemen."
I'll take a seat on the right chair, to her right.
Now I know we
I
haven't
will-
met, but I have seen the reports on you and your exploits, and I am quite impressed. I would discuss them more with you, but frankly, we don't have the time.
Yes, ma'am. What is it?
Okay. She just sort of, she takes a deep breath and walks over to a replicator. And she presses a few buttons, and after a few seconds, where is it? What looks to you to be sort of a smallish, you'd almost say it's an orb, forms in the replicator. It's pale white. It's like eggshell white. And seems to have a generally smooth surface, but it's not like glass smooth. It seems to have some slight imperfections to it. She picks it up and she walks over to the table, and you can see there's sort of like a little indent at the top. She says, "This is a pozo. I'm sure you've never heard of it."
Absolutely not, ma'am. What is a pozo?
Where is the? Do I have the? I'm sure I had it. Yes. The pozo is the cash crop of Balix 3, a Federation colony not too far from here. It's a rather temperamental food, and she strains and she cracks it open, and you can see inside is a slightly less white, but still just very sort of blandly colored mush inside.
Mm-hmm.
Very mushy sort of starch. And she, plucked a little bit out, tasted it. It says, "Here, try it."
I do.
And you taste it, and again, sort of, how like a potato is, where it's sort
Right.
of got this no taste, but this actually does have some flavor to it. It's a very versatile crop if you can get it to grow. You can get all sorts of different flavors out of it, or so I'm told.
Pardon me, Admiral, but I'm assuming you didn't call us here to sample these eggs?
Pozo. It's a starch.
Pozo.
It's a starch fruit. They grow on a vine, I think.
Of course. Well, you'll have to forgive me. I've spent my whole life for breakfast eating scrambled eggs on toast.
Right. Now, as I've mentioned, this is the cash crop of of the Balix 3 colony. Most of their entire food stock subsists on it. It's very hard to grow much anywhere else, but the specific biochemical characteristics of Balix 3's atmosphere allow for them to grow. And they proliferate, and they are quite prolific there. They're very easy to grow on Balix 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I must show you this. And she walks over to the view screen, she pushes a button on it, and you see what looks like one of these pozos. He's sort of still cut in half, but unlike the pozo that is sitting on the table, the inside of this one is all green and slimy.
That does not look very appetizing, Admiral.
No, it's not. And this is currently spreading all across Balix 3. Sir, gentlemen, we have a blight on our hands. A famine in the making.
Are there any Federation relief efforts on their way to the planet?
That's where you come in. She leans forward. You've been at the station for the past week. Meanwhile, other ships within the 10th Fleet have been operating on their missions. As much as we would have liked to get a ship like the Sarek or the Kismet to perform these relief efforts, they're just too busy at the moment.
No worries, Admiral. We'll step into the problem. So, what exactly appears to be the case except the rotting pozo?
Well, as has been said, the pozo is the staple crop of the Balix 3 colony. If the pozo crop completely fails, the planet will starve.
We're not sure what's causing it, correct?
No, we do not. And that's one of the things we hope for you to accomplish while there. Yes, we are going to outfit you with some food replicators and backup rations that should hopefully provide short relief, but we need you to find a way to hold off the spread of this blight until we can get further help in. Unfortunately, by ops estimates, we wouldn't be able to get full Federation relief there for another week and a half.
I see. Doctor, in your professional opinion, do you think we could fit a couple of industrial food replicators in our storage bay?
That's the plan.
I'm a doctor, Captain, not a supercargo.
Right. I keep forgetting
Admiral, can you give us all the data on this blight you have? Maybe our science team can figure out a way to stop it or curtail it, and we'll need samples from Balix 3 once we arrive in orbit, preferably properly contained, just in case.
Understood. I'll give you all the information we have. Fortunately, it's not much. Most agricultural scientists on Balix 3 right now are struggling just to create enough food to feed the populace.
Right.
They're not able to do much research into the blight.
So, what's our time frame, Admiral?
It's not looking good. She walks over to the terminal and she presses another button, and you see a map. And she says, "Here's Narendra Station here." And then she raises her finger up past what appears to be a large nebula cluster, and then she points at a star a short distance beyond it. And she says, "And that is the Balix 3 colony." By our estimates, the Balix colony has 48 hours until their food supplies completely run out.
48 hours, huh?
48 hours. By our estimates, the replicators that we provide you should give you another couple of days if you plan it right. But the problem is right here, and she points at the nebula. The Carcine Nebula. It's a rather treacherous little bit of space, and unfortunately, Commander, going around it will take, by our best estimates, 36 hours. 36 hours to 52, depending on how long you take.
I see. Okay, Admiral, give me the rundown if you can. What is inside this?
What?
What's inside this nebula? What can we expect? Certainly not any bandits, I hope.
Well, we don't know what we can expect in a nebula. Perhaps bandits? And she crosses her arms and gives a wry smile. Perhaps a massive space squid.
So you've read the reports on that one.
Yes. The nebula is a class 2, by no means the most dangerous. But be aware that should something go wrong and your ship gets lost in the nebula, the Balix 3 colony is done.
Well, Doctor, we've faced greater odds before, haven't
Yes, Captain. And I think Rugan will be essential with this.
we? Admiral, say no more. It will be done.
I leave the path that you choose to take up to you. We're going to do everything we can to get your ship packed and ready to go within the next hour.
Next hour. Very well, Admiral. We will convene aboard the ship right now and discuss our possible.
I'm sorry to cut your shore leave day short, but you understand, don't you?
Of course. A planet dies without our help. No words necessary. I'll stand up and I'll salute.
And she salutes back. Dismissed.
Doctor, let's go.
So, I assume you're going to go back to the Hadfield?
Yep. And,
Yeah, Dr. Blackwell, call an emergency senior staff meeting in the briefing room as soon as you can, and call me when it's assembled. I'll be in my ready room.
I'll go ahead and call that emergency meeting.
All right. So before all that happens, actually, I would like to quickly cut back to the bridge. So slightly before all this happens, and I'll turn on the bridge ambience.
Boop.
Not the Voyager Engineering, the bridge. And where is it?
Beep boop.
Yeah. The Zonin, you walk onto the bridge, and the first thing that takes you completely by surprise is standing behind Ops, wearing the blue Starfleet science uniform, is a rather stocky-looking Klingon.
Huh. Wait, who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, okay. Look at the Klingon and go, I thought there was only one Klingon in Starfleet. Who are you?
Lieutenant General Rathdock Rugan of Starship Hadfield. And who, may I ask, are you?
I'm the new con officer.
I see. It is an absolute shame what happened to poor Free Will. Still, I do hope you'll do better.
Thank you, sir. Gonna go to my station now.
All right. Yeah, you take a look at your console, and again, to say it, it's a pretty slick setup. It's this. If you look at the map, it's this station here. So you have this whole console set to yourself, and specifically to your right, there is a rather intricately put control scheme for operating the impulse controls, the reaction precise maneuvering thrusters is a rather intricate little setup. Nothing like you've ever seen before.
Now this is interesting. Almost makes me feel bad for being able to connect with it with the neural uplink. Alright, I'm gonna try to connect to the console with my uplink to see if I can get a feel for the controls.
Alright, and yeah, you hook in, and straight off the bat, I'd say about a quarter of the buttons just totally disappear off the console, because your neural uplink has just rendered them completely unnecessary.
Alright. What systems can I control with my uplink?
Basically, what this does is, the way this talent works is you now have an uplink to the con systems. While you're trying to operate the con, you'll have an easier time as your neural uplink handles some of the load of the controls. And
Alright.
it will just be, you will have an easier time doing con tasks when they come up.
Sounds good.
But currently it's, to get settled into a new console sometimes takes about a minute to get all your settings right. Your settings came up in about 3 seconds.
Oh. Okay.
So 3 seconds in and you're all good to go. You could be, after 3 seconds you could be given the order to take the Hadfield out of space dock, and you'd be ready to take the Hadfield out of space dock. And speaking of which, Commander, you walk onto the bridge.
Ah, okay. I see my new con officer, right?
Presumably so. He's an Andorian. He's currently seated at the station. Like, most notable thing about him is, yeah, he's Andorian, but his left antenna appears to be replaced with a prosthetic.
I'm gonna.
And do you hear that?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Moving
spin.
on?
I
Yeah.
immediately turn around and towards the commander and go, can I help you, sir?
Are you standing at attention?
Captain on the bridge.
Oh, yeah, I immediately stand to attention.
And interestingly enough for you, the Klingon just said captain on the bridge, but this person standing before you only has the 3 commander pips.
I give him a bit of a quizzical look and go, are you in charge, sir?
Yes, I am in charge. You are my new con officer, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
I'll point to my ready room. In there, right now.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. So, you gonna follow him into the ready room?
Into the ready room.
Yep, to the ready room we go.
And there's the ready room.
Please have a seat, Lieutenant. What was it?
To Zonan.
Lieutenant Zonan, please have a seat. What'll you be having?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, computer, whiskey.
But you're on duty.
And it makes you a little synthahol whiskey.
Thank you, computer. I'll walk over back to my chair. Can we say there's a desk lamp on my chair?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's your desk.
Okay.
Is it like an
So-
is it an incandescent lamp?
So, Lieutenant Zonan, I hear tell that you're my new replicant.
Sir?
Oh, you've never seen the movies, have you? Right. I'll point the point the lamp. Lieutenant Zonan, could you reset your baseline, please?
What? Gonna reset my baseline.
What is the baseline?
I have no idea.
Have you ever been in an institution, Lieutenant?
Are you calling me crazy, sir?
Did they ever keep you in a cell?
No, sir. I don't know, sir.
Oh dear.
What's it like to hold the hand of someone you love?
Oh no.
It's enjoyable, sir.
Do you ever dream of being interlinked?
No, but sometimes I dream of cheese.
I'll lower the lower the lamp.
Yes, Blackwell, and the skippers lost it.
My apologies, you see, well, I've never seen anyone with cybernetics. But you're most welcome aboard my ship, and considering my doctor
No,
is...
Jacoby, that is very not true. Not only that, you have seen another Andorian with a cybernetic antenna before.
Oh, he doesn't need to know that, does he now? I'm making him feel special, like a snowflake. So, like I was saying, you're most welcome aboard our ship, and considering Sam already cleared you off, I'm not gonna second guess his decision. However, I do have a little... Never mind. It's just my paranoia striking me. How are you finding the ship so far?
So far so good. The few senior officers that I've met have been enjoyable to interact with, even the Vulcan.
I hope my little performance has not dissuaded you. I like to spend a bit of time in the hull.
I'm gonna be honest, it was really weird, but I'm here to stay, so.
Well, that's good. Let's hope you prove to be just as good as I think you're going. You've already connected to my ship, haven't you?
Yes, sir. At my console, I have.
How do you feel?
Feel alright. The ship's energy is something unique, not something I've experienced before, but I'd imagine I'm gonna find it enjoyable.
Very well. What I wanted to say was we're having a senior staff meeting in about... I'll look at a watch or something nearby. About 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say presumably like 2 to 5 minutes.
What I wanted to say is you are most invited, considering you are now part of the senior staff. Congratulations. Another thing, we're holding parties on Fridays in the mess hall. You're also invited.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now, if you're ready, please accompany me to the briefing room. We'll get over everything.
Alright, I'm gonna follow you.
Okay, I'll down the Synth Hall and just go over to the briefing room.
Okie doke. And that's the easy one.
Hey.
So, yes, you step into the conference room, and already there is the rest of the senior staff.
Okay.
See.
Yeah, let's all take a seat.
And I presume at this point Blackwell's already, like, what have you put up on what part of this whole debacle have you put on the screen behind you?
The screen behind will have like an image of a healthy fruit, half or whatever it is,
Pozo.
half. Puzo half. Is it
Po-
Puzo?
Po.
Pozo or Poza?
Pozo. Remember it like a bozo. It's a pozo.
He's a bozo.
P-O-Z-O.
P-O-Z-O, okay. So a halved healthy Pozo and a halved blighted Pozo.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome. I think you're all probably wondering what the hell that is on the computer screen. Doctor, if you're going to take it away from here, please.
Okay, fundamentally, this is a space potato. Just to simplify things, the planet Balix 3 is the only place known where this...
Well, it's not the only place known. It's
Okay.
just...
It's the main place?
It just so happens that this place grows them really
Right.
well, and so...
The soil and atmosphere of Balix 3 is highly congenial to the growth of this fruit,
It's not a fruit.
this vegetable,
It's a
this tuber.
starch.
Well, if it grows on a vine, it's not a tuber, so it's a vegetable of some sort. To this this food, and because of that, unfortunately, the Federation colony there has become a monoculture, relying on this one item to for its own sustenance as well as its economic viability. Unfortunately, as you can tell by the image on the left, they are now being struck by a blight. Starfleet estimates that Balix 3 has only 48 hours until their food supplies run out. As we speak, we're currently taking on 2 industrial scale replicators, which will buy us a couple of more days. I've requested and received all the data on the Blight and the Fruit and Balix 3 that is available from Narendra Station and Starfleet. Lieutenant Rugan, it is my hope that your scientific skills extend to botany, and hopefully working together, perhaps we can figure out a way to halt this, or at least moderate the Blight.
Aye, sir. I'm confident we can come to at least some sort of solution.
And they should have actual samples for us from Balix 3 waiting when we arrived in proper containment. So we will have the actual Blight itself, whatever it may be, to work on, as well as the reports. The other problem, and here I look at Zola.
Yeah.
Okay, that was close. To Zonin, yeah. To Zonin, is that the Parsec Nebula is right in the middle of the fastest way from here to there, and it is a navigational nightmare from everything I understand. However, going around it will cost us 36 hours, which is time that Balix 3 simply does not have. And I have not the captain to indicate that that's pretty much my part of the briefing.
Thank you, Doctor. I first had a couple of questions. Commander Vlok, one for you. These replicators that we will be receiving, will they hold in the cargo?
Yes, we should be able to make room for them, sir.
And what about their power supply? Will the ship be able to provide enough power without the rest of the system going dark?
Once there, yes, but obviously we will not want to activate them while on way.
Understood.
Yes,
Lieutenant Rugan.
What these replicators are really made for is once you get there, you send them down.
Aha, so we're not powering them on the ship, okay.
No, you're bringing them down to the planet, and they're gonna use them to make food.
Okay,
A ton of food.
Lieutenant Rugan.
Aye, sir.
I'm going to want you and Dr. Blackwell looking in on this plague. Something doesn't feel right here, and you guys need to figure out why these potato thingies are turning green. I want to know, and if there's a possible cure, we need it.
Do we suspect a biological attack of some sort?
It is possible. That has occurred to me. Biological, possibly bacterial, or viral. Doctor, that's all in your...
Of course. Although it could very well just be a naturally occurring blight. There are multiple instances in history and species throughout the Federation of this kind of event striking such monocultures.
That is also quite possible, but if it is a blight, blights can be cured. If it is a specific blight to this planet only, fabricate a cure. If possible, of course.
Captain, as much as I hate to bring this possibility up, there have been historical cases where blights were simply had to run their course and there was no real way of stopping it. I believe we should look into and make preparations for emergency evacuation procedures and, if necessary, taking on as many people as we can on the Hadfield.
Let me put it like this, Doctor. Let's not let it come to that. If possible, that is the last resort.
Understood, Captain, and I hope it doesn't come to that, but if so, we need to be prepared.
Oh yes, and I will say there was one other thing that the Admiral did mention to you. One other time frame.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see if you can remember it.
Yeah, we worst case scenario, we have to figure out a way to keep these people alive for a further week and a half until the heavy supply and rescue ships can arrive.
That is true, but like I said, let's not prepare for disastrous evacuations yet. Keep it in the back of your heads. I want 99% of the efforts on this cure.
Aye, sir.
If I may ask some questions.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Why do these replicators only allow us a few extra days to remain there before we need to evacuate? Wouldn't we be able to keep them running 24/7?
sheer size of the population versus the amount of base material for the replicators.
Okay, and why are they only growing a single crop? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if it grows great, good. But wouldn't you think that the Federation, with all of its technology and whatnot, would be able to? They would have several different seeds to be able to grow stuff in case of something like this happened. Like, if the potatoes are suddenly dying out, why not just grab some genetically engineered soy that can grow in like a week?
The atmosphere on the planet seems to be quite specific, and this very atmosphere allows only this crop to thrive properly.
That's not so much the case. And I guess has Blackwell read any of the files yet, or is he not?
Oh yeah,
time?
Yeah. I've like at least skimmed the
From what you can tell, this is a rather agrarian society, more or less.
Oh, okay. So it's not like super mega cities where they could just like.
Oh no,
No.
this place does not have mega cities.
Okay, so it's.
And with a food source this difficult to grow, which therefore means it brings has tremendous value on the markets. This is surely not the first colony or culture that's fallen victim to the monoculture thing, because it's like in California when you've got a drought but you're wasting water on almonds because they bring in so much money.
Yeah. So for the most part, we're looking at a colony that was caught with their pants down.
Right.
Yes, and we're here to bring their pants up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which brings us to our next problem. Lieutenant, that's your case. This nebula. Computer, can you give us a display of this nebula?
It's basically right in between you and Balix, the Balix system where the Balix 3 colony is. There's just this massive red splotch.
Computer, zoom in and analyze.
And enhance.
Yeah, this is a Class 2 nebula. It's by no means the worst, but it's also, ships have gotten lost in Class 2 nebulas before. I think you guys have dealt with worse. I think the nebula that you encountered during the
Orion thing.
There was that, and there was also the Panama Project. I think that was a worse nebula, but you also had a way in and out of it that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
This here is going to be, you are just going to have to straight up go through this whole thing.
Okay, Lieutenant, this is where you come in. Going around this nebula is definitely one of the options, but it's an option that I would rather not take since time is of the essence. What do you think?
What kind of conditions are we really looking at inside the nebula? Just gas, or am I going to randomly collide with a cloaked cruiser?
You never really know what's going to be in a nebula, because part of the
so it hasn't been charted?
Yeah, because that's sort of it's the thing about nebulas in Star Trek and how they work is they're very hard to do stuff inside of, especially science, because they screw with sensors to high heaven.
I know, I remember reading some of the books where they would send multiple probes out in front of the ship to get a basic idea of what they're going to encounter as they move the ship through the nebula. Could we do something like that?
I'm afraid we won't have the time. It certainly seems like a good idea, but I want us traveling, well, at least maximum warp through this nebula as fast as we can. The time required for scans and everything, it will just eat up too much. We're gonna have to go in blind.
Okay,
or
so
at least semi-blind.
We don't have any Class 10 probes or anything that can travel at warp 9.9 or anything?
Absolutely not. I think. Commander Vlog?
Trying to remember, do we
I
don't know my probes very well. Do we have?
We have anything
warp
that
capable
advanced.
I don't think you have any warp-capable probes.
Oh, that's the big sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of them are just on impulse.
Okay, that
It is an intriguing idea, though.
But, Lieutenant Rugan, could you please tell our new con officer about our sensor system?
Aye, sir. As it stands, the Hadfield is one of the most advanced sensor systems in the Starfleet. As it stands, definitely one of the most advanced in the Beta Quadrant.
There you go, Lieutenant. Throughout the whole journey, you will have the assistance of our sensors. It's not much, but at least it'll bring us a step closer to our objective. The big question is, do you think you're up to the task?
Yeah, I'd say I would be.
Very good. So, remember, we want to get in and get out as quick as you can. The primary goal is the planet. Nothing. We're not stopping for any passengers.
Oh. Okay.
Farewell. I think everyone has their assignments. If you need me, I will be in the ready room. Being dismissed. Hang on. Lieutenant Zonin, get us out of the station as soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go back to my red room. Lie in the bed or something, I don't know.
Yep. So, I'd say after after about an hour and a half, you get the clearance from Narendra Station. They've finished loading on the industrial replicators, and you're good to go.
Alright, let me go to my console and begin to take us out.
So, let me change this, by the way. Bridge.
And Blackwell's going to start working on the problem, or working on what we need to do the problem. I don't know if you'll need Rugan for the scans to get us through. Probably so, but
I think either we can activate a support character for the scan. I want you two guys to focus on the disease, assisting each other and whatnot.
okay.
Yuppers.
Sorry.
So, let me just give me a moment while I figure this out. So, first off, yeah, the Zonin, you see a pff as the Hadfield slowly turns away from Narendra Station and pulls into a safe warp distance. And where is it? The Hadfield jumps to warp. Stars screaming by. And see, here's what I've got to figure out. I have to figure out what's the plot course check.
Instant con, I think it might be.
I think I gotta check.
Let's see, Navigator plot course. It's a reason con task, assisted by the ship's computer con, difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3?
If successful, the next task, helmsman attempts, reduces in difficulty by. This reduces difficulty by a further 1 for every 2 momentum spent. It's under Navigator if you look at the hand.
Yeah, in the combat tasks, I think.
Not in the combat task, just in the handouts. There's a little handout called Navigator,
handouts?
and there's the plot course.
Awesome. I forgot that those handouts exist, and they're nice.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good things.
And our improved reaction control might help with that. I don't know though.
I forget what they do.
I think it's only when we're in a direct collision course with something that improved reaction controls can be used to reduce the difficulty of a con roll.
So, I will say, unfortunately, the plot course, because it's this Class 2 Nebula, it is going to go up in difficulty by 2.
Ooh.
So that's going to be a difficulty 5.
If successful, the next task the helm takes is reduced by 1.
Well, let's turn on the scanners and generate some momentum.
Okay, so hang on. So now that you've gone to warp, here's what I'm going to sort of explain to you. Once you arrive at the nebula, we are going to start more or less the rest of this episode is going to become a timed challenge.
Huh.
More or less every task that you make, with a couple exceptions, like I think the plot course task and and the like. The plot course and everything will be exceptions to that, but every task that you do, like to try to get through the nebula or to do stuff with the Blight, will take 2 intervals. Each interval is 6 hours.
Okay.
Now, here's the trick. Here's the fun sort of trait about how this is going to work. For every interval after the 3rd interval that you take, the complication range will go up by 1.
Okie dokie.
And
Okay.
in order to lower that interval again and start over getting to do 3 more intervals, you have to rest for an interval.
And resting takes up how much time?
I said
An interval.
An interval, 6 hours. So
Okay.
basically, if you were to spend a full day without increasing the complication range, you'd have to go 3 intervals, rest. 3 intervals, rest.
So, and how many intervals do we have total to get everything done?
48 divided by 6.
Well, it's 48 hours until the planet runs out of food. What happens after that?
They start
Nice.
eating each other.
Okay.
Cannibalism, yeah.
Yeah, whatever happens after
And
that is
you
what-
said each task we're doing is taking how many intervals?
2. But remember,
2.
you can spend a momentum to decrease that. And we are also in a new scene, so you lose that 1 momentum you had.
Of course we do.
Big room.
Why could we ever have nice things?
Yep.
Space Irish are gonna die.
Space Irish are gonna die. Oh no.
No, they'll just immigrate to America. It's fine.
So what this will be? So if you want to do the plot course, I will.
And then they'll return for your oil.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I will allow this to be. So this will be Reason Con assisted by the ship's Computers Con, difficulty 5. But I will also allow Rugon to assist.
Assist me,
Okay.
boy.
For with I'm gonna say Reason Con as well.
You hear that, Regan?
Reason Con, eh?
Okay, so we are getting to the first roll of the game. This is gonna be the Zonan's first roll, so we're gonna explain to you how this works. So
Scene
so-
slash roll.
So in your character sheet, you are going to wait. Did you just roll? No.
No.
That's just Blackwell saying something. So in your character sheet, you are going to see a thing called task roll. First thing you're going to do is set that to 2. And you are going to leave the complication range at 1, and let's see, do you have a focus that applies? Yes, your astro navigation focus definitely applies here.
Nice.
Oh, sick.
So, on your attributes and discipline, you're going to change it to reason, you're going to click on reason, and you're going to click on con.
Reason and con.
That is correct. And unless you want to spend any threat, you're only going to be rolling. Unless you want to give me any threat, you will only be rolling 2 dice.
Okay.
The ship
So
will,
have reason and con selected, and then type.
yes, you task roll 2, and you do have a focus. So click on yes.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want to give me any threat to buy more dice?
Give
or-
him 1 threat, I'd say.
Okay.
So you can roll 3 dice instead of. Gives you more
Okay.
chance for a success.
Okay.
Give you a threat then, so I get
3
task roll to 3.
Yep.
Task roll
The
3.
ship also gets to assist. When a character assists, it only rolls 1 dice. But that's gonna be it, I suppose. So click on the little Starfleet symbol next to task roll.
Okay.
Yay.
Wow. That was a disappointing roll.
They 1.
Starship got nothing.
And Rugan.
Honestly, you were saved. Yeah, Rugan rolled, but it doesn't really matter unless Rugan can score like
here's the next thing. Here's the fun little thing. It's not. I don't think it's gonna matter here, because you just can't possibly roll high. You guys can't possibly roll high enough with this. The neural interface, you can re-roll the ship's die.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that because there's no literal way of us succeeding.
But there is a chance for failure.
Yeah, the only thing that you can get out of that is a complication.
So see, the Rugan had a very easy complication there. It was saved by something. I'm not sure what.
So
and you were also really close to a complication.
So looking at it, you keep trying, but no matter how you look at it, the best way that you're going to be able to get through there's really not going to be a shortcut. You're going to have to try to just plow through this thing and not get torn apart.
Okay.
But now the reaction stuff will cut in.
Yeah, I think so, because what does the advanced reaction stuff do?
Only if we're in a collision course with something.
No, it's like any kind of obstacles or something would increase the difficulty of making maneuvers for the ship. It reduces it.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I think it's actually because I think what you're thinking of, Jacoby, is the thing that Free Will had. That was his talent.
Right, precision maneuvering, right.
Yeah, whereas the improved reaction control, whenever a task to move or maneuver the ship would increase in difficulty because of obstacles or hazards.
I think it counts as.
Yep. So, you guys are going to approach the nebula then, I assume?
Yeah.
Let me make sure I've got this. Okay, I have set this up. I am so proud of this.
Entering the Corsi Nebula.
Check this out.
What? Oh, hey, that looks like hell.
Is that from Starfleet Bridge Commander?
I don't know. I think I don't know what it's from, but I found this neat view screen graphic.
It's the crack to kill black.
It's the Badlands.
So, I think
No, the Badlands are a vacation.
Well, I think this is an actual nebula picture.
Oh. It's okay.
Sound disappointed.
Here is what the task is going to be to get through this nebula. As I've said, each task you attempt will take two intervals, unless you spend a momentum to get around it. This is a extended task, difficulty 3, work track of 20.
Oh.
Magnitude 3, complication range 2, resistance 2.
What?
You just said a lot of words that don't mean a lot to him, but
Yep.
give him the short rundown.
Tell me what to roll.
I will.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yep, it's yeah, kinda. So basically, how this works, I'll give you the basic analogy to zone in. Extended tasks are basically like combat, except instead of your opponent being a person with health, it's a situation that takes time.
Okay.
We need to figure out this and that.
Yes,
like,
the
whenever there's that episode of Star Trek where they need to figure out, oh, the plague is caused by this or whatever. It's that's what we're doing.
Basically, it's you want to deal as much damage as you can to the extended task in as short a time as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, like Picard tells Geordi, we need more power to the warp engines, but there is no more warp engines. So what's Geordi gonna do? That's the extended task.
Yeah.
So what'd you say the magnitude and resistance was, Grennan?
Magnitude 3, resistance 2. So, it was difficulty 3, but because of what you said, the advanced reaction whatevers, it goes down to difficulty 2. And this is going to be a control con check.
Okay, so hit control.
And you're, So before you roll, got to make sure you do enter all this right. You're only going to be rolling 2 dice this time.
Okay.
I don't think you have a focus that applies to this situation. So you're going to hit no on focus used.
Okay.
And then you see where it says complication range?
Yes.
You're going to increase that to 2.
Okay.
And the ship
And-
assists with engines con. Also,
And
complication
if
range
you-
2.
And you can still do like the threat buy for die. So
Yep.
It's only a
So
difficulty 3 though, so I wouldn't actually. There is a fair chance that we could get this. But if you're feeling uncertain, give Grennan a threat, and you can roll 3 dice instead of 2.
Well, if you're gonna, actually, if you're gonna spend that threat, I am gonna spend 2 threat, to bring the difficulty up to 3.
so back where it would have been.
Actually, yeah, no, don't spend any threat then. We're gonna go
Well,
standard
I
difficulty.
actually will say though, I'm doing that anyway.
Okay. Then spend the threat anyway.
So I'm back.
Roll
to
3 dice.
So I'm back to 15.
Okay.
It also does help. He has bold con, so
Oh, does he
Oh,
have
actually,
bolt
yeah,
con?
he does. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I-
this is what your character does actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
guys,
so-
I'm gonna have to AFK for like 10 minutes. Valak, would you mind rolling for the ship while I'm gone?
gotcha.
I think that
I will
makes
be
sense
back
anyway.
in 10 minutes.
Oh, so you actually should have re-rolled one of those dice on your previous roll anyway, but whatever. So
Okay.
that was my mistake. I should have noticed that. Anyway,
Task
so,
roll 3,
so yeah, you're gonna roll 3.
and click the Starfleet button.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
111.
And now the ship.
And what was the ship's roll again?
Engines con. It's just to see if you get any momentum out of this.
Given her all she's got, Captain.
Oh,
Nice. Momentum.
So you get a momentum.
Yay.
So what you are now going to do is you are going to roll 2 plus 2 plus your con in challenge dice. You see where it says challenge dice?
Challenge.
It's right
Oh,
beneath
yes.
task roll. So you're going to enter whatever 2 plus your con is. So 6.
6.
Hit enter. Just make sure you hit enter, or else it won't enter it properly. And then click the Starfleet symbol. That's 1,
Nice.
2, 3, 4. That's 4 work done.
Nice.
That is not, however, a breakthrough.
How many momentum does it cost to reroll the zeros?
Well, actually, no. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's actually only 2 work because this is resistance 2.
That's right.
So. Do I win?
No, you don't. Not yet.
Okay.
The
But if we, how much does it cost momentum-wise to reroll?
it only costs 1. But the question is, do you want to risk it, or do you want to spend the 1 to negate the resistance?
Huh.
Okay. So what's the benefits from doing both?
Well,
I mean,
you only have enough
well-
momentum to do 1 is the problem.
I mean, what for both of them? Like, if I were to do one or the other, like, what would be the benefits?
If you
If we spend for the resistance, we get 4 work done. If we spend to re-roll your 2 zeros, we potentially get more. So
potentially, but you could also get less.
fail. Yeah.
I'm not a gambling man, so I'm just gonna do the resistance.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're at 4 work, and you have spent 12 hours.
Oof.
So Grennan, the difficulty, does that go down just to 2 or to
Yeah,
1?
now
Because the
it's gonna-
natural.
Well, now it's going to go down to 2 because I had
Okay.
spent that threat.
Okay.
But the what was it? It's now back down to 2.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to make the roll again.
Right. So okay, and that's 2 intervals gone.
Yes, that's 2 intervals gone. 12 hours.
Okay.
36 hours remaining.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the momentum spin to reduce the interval?
1.
1. Okay.
So now you can roll that again.
All 6.
No, not challenge dice.
Oh, no.
Your task.
You're gonna do the d20s again.
Okay, so 2 in task roll, and
Mhm.
then still in control and con.
And again,
Oh.
if you want to do the take advantage of bold, you can award him a threat and roll 3 dice instead of 2.
Let's go with 3 dice.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna take a threat.
And that lets you re-roll if you get a complication or a 0.
Yep.
Okay. So task rolls 3, complication 2, control con,
Yep.
and hit it.
Okay. That's a 6 that you do succeed. See what the
You
ship
can
gets
re-roll
you.
that 0 if you want.
Just 1 task roll.
Yeah, just 1 task roll. And Valak, you can also re-roll
Nice.
because of his neural
Oh.
interface. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That is a nat 1. So
Yay.
you would get 2 momentum, and let's see if Valak gets you any more. 4 momentum. You're at 4 momentum now.
Nice.
So yeah, you guys watch it.
Boom.
You guys watch as Thazan, after a rough time of it first, he's not getting. He's been spending some time with it for the first 12 hours. It's slow going, but then he puts his hands down on the terminal, takes a deep breath, and the ship just goes. So roll the 6 again.
All 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Challenge dice 6.
Yep.
2, 4, 6.
Nice.
Brought back down to 4. Let me
But now we have more momentum to
Yeah, let's spend the momentum to put towards
time.
piercing. Well, we got it's 2 for time, right, Grinnan?
I
one
thought he
for
said
time.
1.
It's 1 for time.
1 for time. And what is it for piercing? Or to
Piercing
ignore
is
the.
also 1.
Resistance is 1 as well.
Okay, so yeah, let's spend 1 for time and 1 for ignore the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still at 36 hours remaining for their food source, and that brings us up to 2, 4, 5, 6.
So that is a breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And you are at 10 on the work track. So now the difficulty of the check is only going to be 1. And you make that control con check again. Now, if you want, you can spend you've only spent 3 intervals now. The complication range is going to go up by 1 again. Because unless you want to take a rest.
Yeah, basically, at this point, you are skipping your off shift. You are not sleeping. You are getting tired.
Yes, you are doing
Warp
this.
core fuels me.
So the question is, do you want to keep going with this complication range, or do you want to take it off and let an NPC take over?
How many intervals would I be off for?
1.
1, 6 hours. And we spent the momentum, so we're technically have only used 36 rather than.
Yeah, you're only at 18 hours.
Well, we do have. We could activate. I forget our support con officer. What's his name?
Zumo Omari.
That's the one.
Yeah,
We could activate Amari, have him take over for
and it is only
for
a
an interval
difficulty
to
1
let you
check.
get rest.
It is only a difficulty
Yeah.
1 check right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so let you get rest before you go and fly through hell again. And
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Yep.
good.
so yes, we will spend one of our crew points to activate Zumo Amari.
Yep. And he goes and gets some. He's gonna go and catch some Z's for about 6 hours. just real quick to recharge.
Okay, and looks like he's been activated before, so we can give him
Something.
a focus, a talent, or a value.
Yeah.
True. Maybe focus here.
Or maybe a con talent.
Another one.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
To the command book! Away!
Or you
Yeah, I know, right?
Or you could improve one of his attributes or disciplines, I think.
Yeah, but you can only, okay.
I think you can only do it so much.
Yeah,
You can only do so much of that.
with the supporter, yeah.
I don't think you can increase his con anymore. Or maybe you can. I don't
No,
know.
I
it
don't
has a
think
hard limit.
so.
Yeah, they might have hard limits.
Yeah, I think 11 and 4.
So do you want to give him a talent, a focus?
Mm,
Either way, he's going to have a
Perhaps-
focus in helm operations here.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, perhaps challenge then.
Try and find him.
Yeah. And I'll also check the command book and see if there's a good one for you.
I don't have the con stuff marked. Yes, starships, very good.
Oh yes, all sorts of that fluff.
Okay, let's see.
Nothing that would be particularly useful here. You could give him cautious con.
That is true. We can just give them the basic package.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And give him a momentum.
Yep, we're gonna do that.
Woo.
So,
All right, so momentum spend for 3 die.
and don't forget, complication ranges too.
Right?
Yep, working on it. Complication. Why aren't you going to 2? There
There's
it
some
is.
momentum.
And roll them bones. You only need one success.
Yep. Dude. Come on, you can do it. Roll 20. You can do it. Roll 20.
We believe in you. Hell yeah, you can.
2 momentum and the ship.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yep.
I am back. What are we generating, fellas?
Commander, roll me the ship's engine's con.
Yes, sir.
They activated the NPC.
Trap card.
Oh, you activated Biss.
No.
No,
No.
Amari.
Amari, so we could give our new con officer a rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because as has been
Just
mentioned,
remember, this is taking hours in order
Yeah.
to fly through hell.
Yeah, you guys have been going for 18 hours now.
There we go. So how much momentum do we have right now, Doctor?
4.
Mm-hmm.
I've been tracking it.
And
We're
with
gonna
that,
discard you. Thank you very
and so
Okay.
now you are at 24 hours.
Yep.
So if we spend 2 momentum, can we reduce the intervals by 2?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that still has to take
And
some time.
and Amari now has to roll the 6 challenge dice.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. So let me do that here. Come on, you can do it. Oh shit, enter. Do that before I do that. Enter. Come on, zoom up.
That would be
5.
So now it's 3 because of resistance.
If we spend a momentum, we can get
much.
rid of the resistance. Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
brings it
let's
down
do
to
that.
5 on the work track.
Alrighty.
And then I'd also suggest the time. Spend one for that.
So now you're
Yeah.
at 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's with
2 momentum.
Okay, do momentum.
work track 5. Difficulty stays at 1. I don't think it can go to 0.
I think it can.
Okay.
Yeah, it can go down to
But then
0.
everything is momentum after that, so
So do you want him to roll again, or do you want who's it to come back? Or do you want
Well,
do you want Zonin to come back? Because either way, the complication range will be back at 2.
oh, that's
we
right.
want
So,
to-
Okay, so hold on. So we've spent 30 hours, right?
30 hours.
mhm.
5
So this is-
intervals.
18 hours, but there's only one more breakthrough. We'll do it,
Yeah.
and that's a difficulty 0 task.
So the question is, who wants to roll it?
Yeah.
I'd say our best con officer, which is Tev.
Okay.
Yep.
You're gonna roll then?
You've got your rest. You're gonna get back into the chair.
Alright, so Roland control con.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's a momentum.
So you're not gonna get to re-roll any of your dice because that's not your talent. But
But he can do the ship die with his
yes.
attachment.
So fortunately, this is a difficulty 0 check. Now, what this also means, however, is you could choose to just succeed at it.
Yes, but anything we generate here is momentum, and we like momentum.
That
So
is true.
roll.
Please
Oh,
don't roll
okay.
a complication.
Roll a complication, but roll, please.
Okay, so task
So
roll
now-
2, complication 2.
No, task roll 3 because they're
no.
giving you a momentum.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then complication 2.
Complication is
Do I set the complication range for the ship
actually,
as well?
I am going to spend 2 threat to increase the complication range to 3
Okay.
Mhm.
because I have a
Complication
bunch of
3,
threat and I
task
need to use it.
Yeah, we have been giving him threat, but
And let me hit that button.
oh,
That sucks.
maybe we should
Yeah,
have.
so we generate a momentum. I'm gonna
and-
give you those 2 momentum to negate that.
And the ship does get to re-roll.
Sure, I'll reroll, I guess. Watch the ship get a net.
Nope.
Nothing. Okay, so we generated a momentum. I'm gonna give you the momentum we had plus this momentum that we just generated to negate the threat.
Yep.
Sorry, to negate the complication.
Yep,
Okay.
to negate that complication. So now roll your 6.
Yep.
Boop.
So 3. All right.
3 and 0.
Yeah. Ooh. I just realized you're now at 42 hours.
Yep.
Never
Kind of
talked.
close there.
Actually, one thing you could do, I'll let you take back that challenge dice roll and everything. One thing you could do, Zonin, you could spend a determination.
I don't think that's required. Actually,
Well, I mean, we're getting to the planet and it's already out of food. So
okay,
Might-
so let's
Yeah.
totally negate that roll.
So,
Taking back the 1 momentum.
so yeah, you're at 1
and
momentum. So, here's what you can do, the Zonin. And I'm giving this to you because you don't know how... I'm letting you do this because you don't know how the mechanics of it really work yet.
Mhm.
So, you have these values, and I will allow you to use the direct route isn't often the best.
Okay.
To re-roll those 2 dice that you blew.
So
The
your
challenge or the
D20s.
Oh.
The task, the D20s.
So you're already
Okay.
gonna get 1 momentum for succeeding. So roll 2 more dice on the task roll.
standard 2 dice, and remember to keep the complication range back.
I got 3.
Yep. Yes, it's re-rolling the one from before.
Yeah, so you don't get 3 dice, you get 2 dice. Complication range 3. Okay.
Okay, so you still.
Oh, okay. Ship's gonna reroll that.
Well, no, the ship. No. I'm taking what the ship had before.
Yeah, the ship
Okay.
doesn't get this. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So still, I'm gonna give you 2 momentum to negate that complication.
So you still have 1.
Yep. And then also 1 momentum for
the time.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, that's only 3. That's only 3 work. You are at
There's
or
2 on the
sorry,
work track.
Actually, I'm sorry, that's only 1 work because
Mhm.
resistance. So you're at 11. Wow, that's
We
rough.
are going to be cutting it close.
Yeah.
If we give you threat, can we re-roll 3 dice?
No, you can't. That's not how it works.
So how many hours have we spent total? And we did spend that momentum to reduce the interval.
So you were at 30. You're at 36.
Okay.
So it's still.
We can still afford one one good roll.
It's difficulty 0 still. You are at 11 work, I believe.
We can't spend threat to negate.
I'm sorry, you're at 15 work, I think.
Yep.
We can't.
Or 16.
We can't.
15 or 16, I forget.
We cannot spend threat to negate intervals. However, we can give ground threat so the roll is better, and then we generate momentum because it's a difficulty 0. So all we got to do is generate momentum, and then we.
Or can we use threat to overcome resistance instead of momentum?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's got to be the momentum.
So first we generate the momentum, and then we deal with everything else.
So you're gonna give me a momentum?
We're gonna give you a threat, right? Zonin, are you gonna roll again?
Well, what I am gonna do with that threat, though, is you're gonna give me one. I am going to also spend one in addition to the one you just gave me to increase the difficulty to 1.
Okay.
So you actually have to roll a success here.
Should we give him even more threat?
So who's gonna be rolling here? Zonin or
Zonin.
Okay, Zonin, give me another one of them rolls.
Yeah, this time you're rolling.
You're using 3 dice.
3 dice, complication range 2.
Nice.
Nice, and the
like
ship.
That pretty much did it. Okay, ship.
And you can
Hey,
roll.
We
it.
generate
Reroll
3
that
momentum.
ship. You can
Oh yeah,
reroll
we
it.
can reroll this ship. Yeah, good.
Hey,
Hey, that's another moment.
Okay, you're at
Nice.
3. Roll your 6.
Roll 6 challenge dice.
That's 2, 5. Okay, you could spend 2 momentum, and I think that'll be it.
Yep.
2 momentum.
2 momentum. That's 5. That completes the work track. And
Alright, there you go. There you
Yep.
go.
And that thus ends the extended task.
we probably want to spend that last momentum to reduce the interval as well.
No, that was I
It
accounted
will be
for
at 42. It's unnecessary.
No, I had accounted for that.
Oh, okay.
So you're at 42.
That's 1 for the piercing, 1 for the momentum.
You are at 42 hours.
Shit.
We arrive, and that's the. Well, we flew.
Gives us
we
6
flew
hours to.
through hell.
As you guys shoot out of the nebula, and maybe about 20 minutes later, you pull into the you pull into the Balix system, and soon it comes up on view screen.
Nice.
Hey.
it's a planet.
So during these interval things, have we managed, like, the science team managed to get any work done?
I mean, not really. You've done what research you could.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you are now in orbit of the planet.
Okay. Lieutenant Rugon, turn on the sensors. Give me a planetary scan.
Aye, sir, at once.
Of course.
Just
Give me
generating that momentum.
Yep, give me your reason science. Difficulty 1 assisted by the ship's sensors science, so of course, because it's the advanced sensors, it reduces it to difficulty 0.
We have it. We're going to exploit it.
You
the
roll...
ship too.
Wait,
You only
that
rolled
that
one
was
there.
reason con. Why did you roll
Oh,
reason
right.
con?
Because I misclicked his way. Reason science,
Oh
I'll
my
be
god,
right.
stop rolling such obscene amounts of momentum.
That's my other one.
Oh my god.
Shouldn't you be rolling 2 dice?
He did.
I know, I rolled one then the other. Actually,
Oh, okay.
I will look into that. That is a 12, is it not?
What?
Alright, no, never mind, sorry. It works out.
Yes,
It works
does.
out, yeah.
So you
Yep,
4
generate
momentum.
4 momentum. That is so
Nice.
stupid.
See, Lieutenant Zonin, this is how we generate momentum aboard our ship.
Yep.
We turn on the sensors.
Yeah, you turn on the sensors and they get momentum. It's dumb. It's so dumb. So let me go to Ragon. So Ragon, what you're picking up is a number of sort of agrarian settlements across the planet. It's not archaic by any means. It's certainly rather modern farmland. But
Okay.
the health of that farmland is not in good shape.
Oh no.
There are some settlements, like, some pockets of civilization, so to speak, small cities, but nothing like 21st century New York or anything.
Right. Let's hail the planetary government.
Well, hang on. Let
Aye,
him
sir.
report to me. Let him report to me what he sees, Lieutenant. What do you see?
Well, Captain, it seems that there are a number of agrarian settlements dotted about the place. There don't seem to be any large pockets of civilization as we know it. There are several cities, but none seem to be of any great size.
All right, Chief Kiji, open hailing frequencies.
Yes, sir.
And up on the screen appears a man. He appears quite frazzled. His
Oh, no.
curly brown hair is just totally unkept. He says, "This is Overseer Mark Collins. I take it that you're the Federation, you're the Starfleet, relief?"
That is correct. My name is Commander Lawrence Jacoby of the USS Hadfield, Starfleet Federation. We are here to assist in any way we can, and we have brought 2 industrial fabricators with.
That's fantastic. That should give us some more time. And you're... well... The Starfleet Admiral I spoke to was very explicit about the amount of time they said it would take to get here, but you're ahead of schedule. That's good. We can work with that.
Yeah.
How is the situation down on the planet? Have there been riots?
No riots as of yet, but that's just because our food stores haven't run out yet.
Oh,
We'll make sure they don't run out for the time being. We will get an away team down with the industrial replicators as soon as we... Commander Jacoby out. Okay, I'll ping my Commander Vlog, come in.
Sir?
Commander Vlog, prepare the industrial replicators for transport. You and Chief Kiji will be going down to the surface and delivering them. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Doctor, I want you to head down there as well. Take a look into situations if you...
Captain, I think Rugan and I might be better served up here with the samples they should have prepared for us using the Hadfield's labs.
Wouldn't you rather try and collect some samples on the ground?
They should have some ready for us if the Admiral communicated our needs to Overseer Collins.
Understood. Chief Kiji, could you collect those samples, please, when you're down there?
I would love to, sir.
Very well. Doctor, if you're staying here, then I'm going down to speak to the man in charge. I want to see the situation down on the planet. If things start to escalate, we're going to need to de-escalate.
Understood.
I'm counting on you to be in command of the ship while I'm gone, Doctor. Don't
I'll
ruin
keep
it
the
too
seat
much.
warm for you, Skipper.
Alright, Chief Kiji, meet me in the transporter room when you're ready.
Hi, sir. I just need to stop at the armory and get my new rifle.
Very well.
God, you people are really worried about riots and stuff.
So
Oh, man.
that is gonna be 2 momentum and a threat if you want to bring that thing with you.
Sure, if he wants it so much, let's bring it with us.
What, my rifle?
Who am I to deny the wishes of my crew?
Yep. And by the way, we are about to enter another scene, so you're gonna lose another momentum.
Of course I am. Good thing we turned on the sensors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You would have had no momentum now. So, you're gonna... So they managed to get the industrial replicators brought down to the planet's surface rather easily, outside of the away team. But, so what I will say now, and this is where we need to start keeping track of it and where things are going to get a smidge complicated, I suppose. What we need to keep track of is, there are two things we need to keep track of. How many intervals how much time has actually passed since this whole thing began, and how much time the colony has left, because those are two different numbers.
Fun times.
Okay, so mathematics is not my strong suit.
So currently, as it stands, 36 hours have passed since this whole ordeal began. Right?
36 or 42?
Or
Yeah, I
sorry,
thought we were
42.
at
42 hours
Yep.
have passed since this whole thing began. Now, what these things, hang on. Here it is, actually. Yes. So, bringing these replicators down to the planet, however, gives you 4 intervals.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you have 4 more intervals back on the clock.
Okay,
So that's 24 hours plus the 6 we had left over. So we've got 30 hours.
Correct. You have 30 hours, and 36 and 42 have passed.
30 hours, 5 intervals.
Yep. And
Okay.
okay. So with that, the hang on. We'll use this as the art for the scene for now. And I'll close those and
Beam it down.
as you beam out of the transporter room, and you materialize out in an open field. And here's the thing. The best way I can describe it to you. You sort of smelled it a little when you were on the ship. The Pozos had this really nice, this sort of starchy aroma when you first smelled them. What hits your nose is a little bit of that, but overwhelmingly, the smell of rot hits your nose.
Lovely.
Nasty.
I think I've smelled this before. Ugh. Right. Chief Kiju, where is the settlement?
That way?
Yep, and you point off and you see what appears to be a settlement of buildings, maybe about all 3 stories tall, and there's also a dome. A dome off to the side, like maybe twice as tall as any of those buildings.
Alright, where are the replicators, by the way? Did they materialize
they've been
with
brought
us? Do
down.
we have to lug them? Okay, they've been brought down. We don't have to lug them around, do we?
No, you don't, because they're these big, bulky, industrial replicator
Yeah.
things.
Right,
The
Chief, you
engine-
might want to put away that rifle for now.
I just kind of put it on my back.
Okay, Commander? Straighten out your back. We're gonna meet some people.
Very well, sir. I attempt to stand straighter and follow his lead.
Let's go into the settlement.
If Valak's back were any straighter, you could almost accuse him of being homophobic.
That's
got
fine.
that.
Wow.
So, you walk into the town, and shortly thereafter, you're greeted by, again, very bedraggled-looking overseer. And he is flanked by a couple of others who, a couple other humans who are carrying what look to be large sample cases.
Overseer, my name is Commander Lawrence Jacoby. We spoke on the communications, I believe. May I introduce my first officer, Lieutenant Commander?
Hello, sir.
It's a pleasure. So, we've got the replicators, and we were worried that we weren't gonna have enough time to distribute food, but we should be able to get things well underway with the extra time we've been given.
Let's hope so. What have you got in that box over there?
Well, we got word from Rear Admiral LeVay that your scientific groups needed samples of contaminated pozo.
That is quite true. I'm assuming that's the case.
Yeah, these are some prime samples from different locations around Balix. There are coordinate charts documented with each of them as to what locations they came from, as well as, and he hands over a pad. This is what meager data we've been able to catalog about the spread. It's not much, though. We've been rather preoccupied keeping the distribution of food in order.
I see. Very well. It'll have to do for now. Thank you very much, Overseer. Would you mind relaying this data, except the, transporting the physical samples over to the Hadfield and relaying on any and all data to our computer system?
I think I can do that.
Do you require assistance with the industrial replicators? My first officer here would be most willing to assist.
Well, if you're willing to offer some assistance with the replicators, I'm sure a Starfleet officer could get far more efficiency out of them than, well, we ever could hope to.
Commander Valak, I'm counting on you to do your magic. Go show these people how to use an industrial replicator.
Very well, sir. I will do my magic.
In the meantime, Overseer, my security officer and I would like to discuss with your Chief of Security, if you have.
Of course. Be my pleasure. And I assume he's gonna bring Kiji, like, inside his little administrative complex. It's not a huge thing, but it serves as a forward administrative outpost.
And I will go along with him.
Okay. Wait, so who's bringing those samples up to the Hadfield?
They're being transported up. I told him to transport them up.
Okay. Right. Then, in that case, I'll do the, Where are they? Here it is.
No. Transport and stuff.
Yep, transport and stuff. So, yeah, the cases disappear in the glimmer of the transporter beam. So, what do you wish to know, Commander?
Well, let me start off by speaking to my chief here first. Chief, you've been on
Yes, sir.
Bajor during the war, am I correct?
Yes.
Were there any problems with food, per se? Or
There
were
was
you
always
relatively...
problems with food, sir.
And problems with food generally tend to lead to discontent among the populace, is that...
Generally, yes.
How would Bajoran or Cardassian security forces deal with such insurrection?
Well, Cardassians would handle it most harshly. Bajorans obviously would be much more lenient given the chance.
Here's what I'm thinking. In case our scientists don't manage to produce something, I want a contingency plan in case people take arms in search. This is what we'll be working on. So, Chief, I'm asking you, any ideas?
Well, I mean, we can put down basic rules. Make sure that people don't gather in large groups. Say limit it to 5 people. before they are dispersed and things of that order.
I'm
I see.
sorry.
Overseer,
Martial law.
did you have any plans for rationing
Yes,
at all?
we have plans for rationing and how to properly distribute the what we have left so that we get the most out of it and don't so that the fewest people starve, of course. But what you're describing to me sounds like martial law.
It's just a contingency plan, Overseer, in case things go south. You see, we are supposed to keep you, if we don't manage to find a cure, we are supposed to keep you alive for at least a week before other Starfleet reinforcements.
And well, specifically a week and a half. Although
A week and a half.
although almost 2 days have passed. So
Yeah.
So you understand, Overseer, that in case things don't go the way we plan, we're gonna have to set some tighter restrictions, specifically to the rationing system and then martial law.
I don't know if I can abide martial law, but if you're willing to take a look at the rationing system and find a way to make it more efficient, be my guest.
We'll see what we can do. Did you have it written down anywhere?
Yes, I keep the complex nature of our rationing system just written down on a piece of paper. No, we have it on a computer terminal within the complex. It's on our computer systems. Believe it or not, Commander, we are civilized.
I had no doubts of that. I've seen what happens to people who don't have food.
And
Let's just leave it at that.
And what you can tell is already, in addition to being tired, Overseer Collins does appear to be a bit irritable.
It's perfectly understandable. He's hungry.
He's hangry.
He's hangry.
You're not you when you're hungry. Have a Snickers.
He's hangry. Okay.
So, Overseer, please take us to your computer core and we'll take a look at it real quick.
Alrighty. And he brings you in. So, what's gonna happen here is we're gonna get back into the actual handling of the situation on all ends. And basically what I am going to ask is, in the long term, what do you all want to do? Because this is a much longer term assignment, so to speak. And so it's you need to think about what you're going to be doing in terms of over the course of hours.
Yeah.
And I want each of you to think about that.
Let's start with Chief and I. So we're going to be looking at ways to see if we can make this rationing system a bit more effective. If we can find some flaws, see maybe if a distribution of a certain produce or something can be functioning better, perhaps, so that less is used but more is gained, etc., etc.
Okay. I'll say this is going to be a reason medicine. Gonna spend 2 threat. Difficulty 3.
Here is a thing.
A momentum?
No. Here is my reasoning. If I'm trying to look at it, it's from more of a social perspective, not necessarily a nutritional perspective, but general laws of society, etc., or
You want
how
command?
society would function. I want command.
I'll allow it. You've sold me on it.
Alright, so what did you say the role was?
So now it's reason command. Difficulty 3.
Kiji
Am
gets
I
to assist with
Yes, he-
reason command.
Yes, he does.
Here's a momentum from me. Actually, no, take a threat.
Okay, I will take a threat.
Would
So,
my
one dice.
focus in negotiation, diplomacy, hazard awareness,
No.
would my focus in gambling work?
No. Nope, this is
Would
this-
my focus
Nope.
would my focus in human Earth philosophy work?
no. This is a logistics problem.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I would accept.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
That's 3 successes that
Yep,
we have.
that does it. Okay.
Whoop.
So you figure based on this, it's gonna be a little tougher going, but you're gonna, this is what you're spending 12 hours doing.
Question: does this buy us a few intervals, at least like one interval?
It's gonna buy you 2.
Excellent.
But this is just what you're doing.
Sure.
Over 12 hours. So, your 12 hours has bought the whole planet 12 hours.
So we basically equal out.
Well, you do. Just you guys. There's still Valak and everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and again, you need to keep track of, everyone keep track of how many hours you're at.
Alright, so
I know it's complicated, but please try to keep track of how many hours you are.
Doctor, you got the notebook. You keep.
yeah, total with that 12 hours is now at 54.
Well, that's just for Jueza and Jacoby.
Right, I'm just adding it up as we go. I figure it'd be easier.
Yeah. So it's
and
it's an unfortunate thing, but you're actually probably all gonna have to keep separate track of how many hours you have used.
Yep.
Because
but you did want us to keep track of the overall total, though.
yes, do keep track of the overall total and how many hours the colony has left. I know it's complicated, but this is that's the gimmick of this episode.
At this point,
Logistics.
no. At this point, though, there's no real change to the amount the colony has left. It doesn't go down, and
Well-
it doesn't increase,
Well, but
right?
here's the thing: while Jacoby and guys are doing all that,
Mm-hmm.
you guys get to do stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's essentially.
So that's where we start gaining hours. Now
Right.
they
Okay. We
they
hope.
pulled it out on just theirs, so then I'm gonna work on replicators and you're gonna work on cure stuff.
Okay.
And
Right.
yeah,
hopefully we gain more time.
so anything that you guys do will get you more.
Right.
Unless
Oh, if our helmsman has a decent engineering score, he can head down and assist Valak with the replica.
Does he? Is that what you want him to do?
Zonin, do you have? What's your engineering score, my dude? Actually, I can check that on my own. Decent, I guess. If Grennan allows security to be rolled alongside, maybe.
No, that's not how this is
No.
gonna be. Nope. 'Cause what
Well,
is
he's going to have to be in command of the ship, you know.
first day on the job, command the ship.
Oh, he has a good science score.
He does have a good science score.
Zonin has a pretty damn good science score, actually.
And Rugan has a decent engineering score. Okay, Rugan, you're going down on the.
Aye, sir.
And the Zonin's gonna help with Blackwell.
Help find a cure. I know you made your character to fly ships, but you need to cure a plague now.
Yep. So here's the question: which of you? Yeah.
Okay, if we do that, we're going to have an NPC in charge of the ship.
It doesn't matter.
Support
It's
character.
just a bridge crew on the ship, you know.
Yeah.
Watch.
Okay. I'm just okay.
Yeah. Currently, you're in a decent enough position.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as we don't go too crazy.
So, question is, either Valak or Blackwell, who wants to go first?
After you, Valak.
Alrighty. So Rugan and I are going to attempt to modify the replicators to get as much bang for our buck out of them. Yes.
So, here is actually how this is going to work. To work these replicators is actually in itself an extended task. To create more food.
Gotcha.
It is a difficulty 3 control engineering. Difficulty 3 control engineering. Actually, I'm gonna slightly adjust that because I had originally had it something you did on the ship, but now that it's not on the ship, I'm adjusting that. That's my fault. Difficulty 2 control engineering. Work track of 25. Magnitude 6.
Wow.
It's a big
Okay.
boy.
But it's only difficulty 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Did
Okay.
you want a momentum there, buddy?
Ooh, yeah, I think I'm going to need to. Oh,
Aye.
Yeah,
man.
you've got miracle worker, so you're good, man.
Yeah, Miracle Worker will help with this, but, ooh, Jesus Christ. Yep. And I'm assuming my focus works.
In replicators? Oh yes.
Yeah.
This is your shtick.
Yep.
And who's gonna help? Rugan?
Yep.
Control engineering. Ooh, buddy, Valak. Buddy pal.
You can reroll one of those, man.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
Caution.
Don't
No
you
way I
have?
can't.
Oh, he doesn't.
Because I used my spotlight to replace Cautious with Rocks to Replicators.
Oh god.
No!
Rocks to
What have you done?
Rocks to replicators isn't even that good.
No, it's not. Okay. Yep. It can be, but it's
Can we
very
get the
situational.
spotlight back? Can we get
No.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Nuh-uh.
Alright.
Nope. Nope.
Here's a question though. Would a reverse engineering focus or quantum mechanics or computers help at all in this?
No. You're gonna have to get a crit success.
I figured as such. Neither team dynamics?
Nope.
I don't suppose I could negotiate with it.
Nope. Wait, no, I might. Sell me on team dynamics.
Well, team dyna. Well, I already rolled the fucker and I got a win, but still.
Huh?
It wasn't I rolled and I didn't get my crit success. And I was thinking team dynamics and just, it's basically here we are, we're working there, we're figuring out just how the things are going, we're communicating with one another, we're figuring out
Yes,
who
I would have.
needs what.
You see, I would have allowed it in the regards of you're coordinating a team to operate these things, but no, you didn't even roll low enough. So, unfortunately,
Nope, not that time.
unfortunately, you're gonna spend those 12 hours just not get.
Thumbs up arse.
They are working. They are working, and you're getting food out of them, and it's getting distributed, but it's not getting done any faster.
So we've just equaled out on our time.
Well, no. That's not necessarily true. That's just Rugan and Valak.
Okay.
We still have the group up on the up on the Hadfield.
Okay. So I want to first step develop a cure or pesticide or whatever for the I keep wanting to call it a plague, the blight,
Yes.
and then we'll need a delivery method planet wide.
Okay. So, first, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to analyze the mold samples that you have found.
Right.
So that is going to be a insight, medicine, or science difficulty 2.
And Lieutenant Zonin can assist.
Yes. So Zonin, you're going to assist with either insight, medicine, or insight, science, whichever one is better, and you are only going to roll 1 die.
Only one die, set the complication range to 1.
Yep.
And I'm going to spend that momentum for cautious medicine and a die. All right, here's ship assisting.
Oh yes, computers medicine.
Okay, and we'll be doing this in sick bay.
Yep.
So
And because the Zonin is working on this task, the ship's computer gets a reroll.
oh, nice.
Nice.
But
Okay,
remember,
so-
the difficulty goes down because we're doing this in the med bay.
That's one thing you could spend that advantage on.
But it's do we have a work track yet?
No, you don't. This is just to analyze the mold samples.
Not necessary then yet.
Yeah,
there is
'cause-
one thing I would there is one thing I could suggest you using that thing for, that advantage for, and it's something I would let you essentially lobby for the session.
Lobby for the session.
I will allow you to use your advantage to bring down the interval of all medbay tasks down to the minimum of 1.
I think that's an excellent use of that.
That is a wonderful yes.
So it is keeping your time down.
Okay. Okay, so here's the analysis roll for medicine insight.
It's only difficulty 2. And
Okay, so there's that.
And, Tizonin, can you roll insight science? Only 1 die, complication range 1.
Zonin, are you there? I don't think he's actually there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
So, insight science 1 die, complication range 1. I don't think you have a focus.
Yeah, you don't have a focus. And you're only...
Roll.
Yep, that's
Alright, there's a
Okay,
momentum.
ship.
And the ship. Don't
Okay.
even need to re-roll it. Blackwell, are you gonna re-roll that 0?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Are you sure you want? Okay. Whatever you say.
Nope.
Same old, same old. So 2
That's
momentum.
that's a 19, bro.
That was, yes, that was, well, his earlier roll was a 17. That's not any better, but yeah. So you gain 2 momentum,
Nice.
Yep.
and that only took 6 hours. So, yeah, you're getting a feel for this. This is definitely a fungal. This is definitely a straight up blight.
That's no good.
So we need
And
to.
It's very the tricky thing is you're not exactly sure what causes it, but at the very least you know how it spreads. And
Okay.
and it's become rather apparent to you as you look at the samples. These the pozo are a vine vegetable, meaning they grow on a vine. And from your estimates, like, these things form a carpet that just covers vast swaths of farmland on the planet's surface, from what you read. This blight, when if it even affects 1, the blight travels up the vines and spreads through the vines.
So like a field of these, there's not a bunch of separate vines. It's all basically one big tangled
Yes.
web o singular vine.
Yep.
Okay.
And once one of them gets infected, it spreads.
Like bananas.
Right.
So would it be better to figure out a way to either give the vines some resistance or just take out the fungus's ability to replicate?
Oh, and I forgot one other thing I forgot to mention to you, Blackwell, that you will note. One other thing that they have on the planet's surface, in that settlement that the commander and everything went down to, there is a biodome down there where they have managed to isolate some unblighted pozo that they are currently trying to grow. That they're, it's currently...
Ooh.
They're currently trying to keep some pozo going in a
Okay.
biodome. It's not much though.
Right. So, but they've already isolated what they could.
Yeah,
In other
exactly.
words.
They've isolated what they could, but what they could is not much. But there is
Okay.
some isolated. There is some isolated good pozo.
Okay.
I should have mentioned that to you when you asked what you found in the data, which is why I'm telling
Right.
it to you now. So you've only taken 6 hours.
Okay. So, I think all the vegetables in the fields are done. I mean, there's just. So I think what we do is we need a fast-acting fungicide to just kill it, and then what we may need to work on next is, I don't know, a way to accelerate the growth of the healthy plants. But I think we kill the kill the virus, and then maybe I don't know if we need to genetically engineer the healthy plants to be resistant.
I'd imagine that'd be a good way to go.
Yeah. So
Generally, probably the most effective way to kill off the old stuff is just burn it all down.
yeah, except we're not knowing where it comes from. It could still be in the soil and everything. So I think a antifungal, which will travel back and kill whatever it finds.
That could work.
But what do I know? Do I think that's the most effective route?
It is.
GM?
It is. I'm not going to tell you if it's the most effective route, but it's a route.
Okay.
I hate the scientific method.
Well,
Oh no, this isn't a scientific method thing. It is just a. This is a. It's a way you could do it.
Right.
I'm giving you some good information by saying, yeah, you could do that.
Right. I understand. So what do you think, Tev?
I would focus on getting that that untainted strain of the vegetables or whatever more resistant to the fungus before we essentially salt the earth.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So yeah, let's work on the problem of making the healthy plants immune to the blight.
Okay. So, you do have some healthy samples of of the pozo, because I mean you can get those replicated.
Right.
It's kind of a complicated pattern, but you're able to get a couple replicated, or sent up from the facility either way.
Right.
But yeah, you can do some work on them. Which are you trying to create? A fertilizer or a what?
To do the immunity.
Oh, you're trying to make the healthy stuff immune.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So I'm thinking honestly genetic modification.
So yeah, in this case, it's gonna be reason, medicine, or science. And I was gonna make it difficulty 3, but I'm spending 2 threat to make it difficulty 4.
Okay. Is this an extended or just a?
This is just as I said, difficulty 4.
Okay.
And everyone gets to assist, including the ship, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, doctor, here's your momentum for your cautious medicine.
Excellent.
Excellent, Smithers.
So at the Zonin, you're gonna be rolling the same thing again,
Or,
except this
this is
time it's gonna
reason.
be. Yeah, okay, so you're gonna be rolling reason, science, 1 die. Set the complication range to 1. The complication range is not the difficulty; it's something completely different.
Yep.
So everyone's rolling on this?
Well, ship-wise.
Oh yes, and the ship also gets to assist with.
Alright.
I'm gonna say computers, medicine again.
All right, kids.
Can we
here's-
use computer science?
I'm gonna say no,
Okay.
because you're trying to genetically modify plants. This falls quite firmly into the realm of medicine.
Medicine. Right. Go ahead, doctor.
I'm just wondering if I should spend a determination yet or save it for.
Well, you're gonna essentially be rolling 5 dice with 2 rerolls.
Fair enough. All right, so let's go for it. Here's my 3. There's 3.
Hey.
Bam.
And my axe.
Bam.
Or 5. That's 2 momentum.
And
1
my
momentum.
axe.
So to Zonin, anything you roll now is just momentum.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
already get 1 momentum.
reason and then science or medicine, right?
Yeah. Science or medicine,
Yep.
whichever is higher.
And then complication 1, roll 1.
Complication 1, yeah, just roll 1.
Okay.
Like so.
Cool.
Go
No
on.
whammies. You can re-roll that though.
No,
if-
he can't.
No.
That's the ship for him. Right.
Yeah, and he wouldn't even have had to anyway because of the ship just.
Right.
The ship
Okay.
rolled a nat 1.
So
Damn.
Nice. So we get a momentum.
yes, so if what you're figuring is right, I mean, this isn't a huge well, it is an accomplishment certainly, but with this modification, it would take an interval to implement. It would take probably I'd actually say 2 intervals to implement. But if you were to implement them, you would be able to bring the stuff in the dome out of the dome, and it wouldn't get blighted.
Okay. Implement takes 2 intervals. And we just spent another interval, but just 1, because we're in the sick bay. So we're up to 12 with
So-
everybody else now.
Yep, so everyone's at 12.
Yay.
And how many hours are we at?
So that'd be 54?
54?
Yep.
How many
Yep.
hours does the planet have?
Because of Jacoby's and Kiji's work, they're still at 30. Because they gained 12, but so it's a wash, so nothing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we also yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay. So who's gonna
So
want to
30 hours, 5 intervals.
Yep, so who's gonna want to do something next?
Well, let's get the genetic modifications down to the people on the planet and have them
Yeah.
go ahead and get that rolling for the.
Okay. Well, you're
The
gonna
2
have
intervals
well, the
to-
thing is, you're gonna have to help them through that, so that's gonna take 12 hours.
Mm.
So that's what
Okay.
you guys are. That's what at the very least one of you is gonna have to spend time doing.
Okay. Yeah, Blackwell will go down and do that.
Okay.
Actually, I can do that. If you just give me the basic rundown, I think I can manage that, and you can keep working on the.
Is
cure
it
position.
going to take medical or science rolls, Grennan?
No, it's not gonna take rolls.
Then
yeah.
the chief and I can do that, no problem. We're
Okay.
already on the ground dealing with the civilian population, so we'll.
Yep.
Okay, and we can spend our next bit working on a fungicide to kill off all the existing blight.
Woo.
Okay. So that is also going to be a reason, medicine, or science difficulty 4.
Whew.
I'm not making this easy for you guys.
That's okay.
Now is the time for the determination.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Well, we get the same kind of deal we did last time, though.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be the same deal. With
If you're feeling bold, then here's a momentum. Let's roll with it.
with computers, medicine, and the Zonin can roll reason science again.
Okay, so we got to get a 4. We got ability to reroll 2 dice.
However, I'm going to spend 2 threat and increase the complication range by 1 for all of you.
Okay.
I think that is a good use of my threat right now.
Complication range is now 2.
Yes, it is.
Woo.
Okay.
Can't make this too easy for you guys.
See what this does. Ooh.
Gonna reroll that whammy, I assume.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well,
3, 4,
We
5.
just got it.
Whew.
2, 3, 5, 6. We generated momentum.
2 momentum actually.
2 momentum, yeah.
Yeah.
And that took you 1 more interval. So you are at I'll say it here. You guys are at 18.
Right.
You're at 18. So every subsequent task you guys perform, the complication range will go up by 1.
Oof.
Because now you're starting to
Right.
work overtime.
Gotta love overtime.
What if I gave us stimulants?
Fractashino.
No.
Correct.
I'm thinking cordrazine.
Oh no!
No, not cordrazine. You know.
Oh shoot! Oh, that's a thing, isn't it?
Go straight for the nuclear option.
Oh shoot! I forgot that's a thing that you guys have. Where's the?
Shut
Burns. Broad spectrum. Well, I mean, cordrazine is Yeah, that's
No,
like trying to.
I just want to look at what it says.
Can't we just be old-fashioned and get an epinephrine?
Never.
Nah, he's a doctor. He's gonna torture his body. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I think that's how they do it. I think.
Or
there's
maybe, just like a very high glucose shot or something?
Well, honestly, triox compound would work because basically, if you're oxygenating the blood, that gives you clearer thinking, and I mean, it's just
I don't believe in blood oxygenation.
But apparently you're also hungry, so, glucose.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna try and give yourself a shot? Keep that complication range down.
Yeah. There's nothing directly in the book, but I've got a whole list of stimulants from Memory Alpha.
So, hang on. Are you also gonna give it to Zonin?
Yeah, if he wants it.
Do it.
Are you gonna do it, the Zonin?
You want the shot?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna say then this is a control medicine difficulty 1.
Control.
No,
medicine.
this is just Blackwell.
Okay.
Oh, why do I have this stupid thing still on?
Yeah, that's kind of making you guys turn into white noise.
Okay. So.
That's probably why.
Difficulty 1. Apply. But this roll will be with a complication range of 2, I'm assuming. Or no, that was because of threat.
Oh well, no, you are now reaching that point where you're going overtime. So.
Okay.
Doctor, just in case, you have a goddamn momentum.
And this-
I don't want you failing this
Thank
and
you.
stabbing.
Yep, and this won't take time.
Right.
This won't take any time, but it's just it is at that point.
Lieutenant, I don't usually recommend this, but the circumstances are extraordinary. This will work, but afterwards, we're both going to crash hard.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
I
Alright.
trust you, Doc. Even
Drug
though I messed
up.
something up.
Please re-roll that for the love
Yep.
of Christ.
Toke,
Oh.
toke.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
When I say re-roll, I mean re-roll.
Reroll. Yeah,
Damn.
go from 20 to 1. Okay, great.
We just topped up on momentum. There you go.
Of course you did. So,
All right.
yeah. You both feel just a surge just pass through you, and okay.
I can see sound
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's so green.
Yep, you feel like you should be tired, but you're not.
Right.
It's not like
Is-
it's not like you're super energetic, but it's more of a
Right.
again. You're supposed to be tired, but you're not.
Is this
Right.
what it
I'm sure I
feels
used some sort of
Fire go.
neurostimulant.
I am a neurostimulant.
So, that leaves so you still have one more interval before the end of this 12-hour set.
So Valak and Rugan want to try again with the replicators,
Well,
or
I want to finish off with Blackwell so they can finish off their 12-hour set.
Yeah, since they
okay.
have half the time.
Actually, wait, what time are they at now?
Right now we're at 18, which is so we've got one full 12-hour set, and then
No, total, grand total.
Oh, total. So
for us or everything.
For you guys.
oh,
Grand total would be 60, I guess. 54 plus 6, so the interval we just used.
Oh, this is gonna be perfect. Okay. Great. So
It feels true.
nope, this is gonna be perfect. So you have one more task to do before your 12-hour set is up.
Okay. So, okay, we got the last thing we did was get the genetic modification and
You
And
made the
we got that.
fungicide.
where are we at? Making the antifungal?
Yeah, you finished. You made the antifungal,
Hell yeah, brother.
and it seems to be working.
Okay. So, our next bet is we have to figure out a way to get that rapidly distributed across the planet. Right? Right.
Okay, so, but how is distributed? Like, are you saying we should just like?
Well, we want to
The atmosphere?
distribute this planet wide as quickly as possible. So instead of just
How's it administered to the plants? Is it injected, or do they soak it up through the roots?
Probably like airburst, and you can.
we could use some basically the equivalent of a crop sprayer.
Duster.
Crop
Yeah.
duster. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hook it up in a shuttle or detonate photon torpedoes, but instead of the photon warhead, it's just.
You know the Hadfield's capable of atmospheric flight, right, Lieutenant?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
How'd you like to
Yep.
crop dust a planet?
that's cool.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Release the vaccine through the port and cells.
I mean, we can synthesize all we need up here and just we crop dust the planet.
It would actually not be too hard. You need some engineering know-how to get it done, but which would take few engineering tasks. But theoretically, you could stockpile this because it's a vaccine. It's just a chemical compound.
Right.
Or not it's antifungal. It's just a chemical compound. You could
Right.
stow it in the Bassard collectors,
Ha.
and then release it.
Riker maneuver 2.0.
Right. So, what's your engineering like, Tev?
Not that good. I mean, I understand the basics, but
It is time to activate into
Bis.
this.
It is
Yes.
time.
It's time for the Biss.
yes, my lord.
And we can give him.
And I looked and beheld a white horse.
Right. So, what should we give Biss since we're activating him again?
Good question.
You mad?
Grennan, what kind of talent would apply?
Could give him cautious engineering since
No, sorry,
somebody
what kind of-
decided to
What kind
get
of
rid of it.
focus? What kind of focus would apply here?
Well, I mean, you want to give him another focus?
He's got.
I mean, sure, fine. I'll give him a talent.
Yeah, caution. Honestly, cautious engineering.
Yep.
Yep.
Because apparently cautious engineering is too good for Valak.
Well, almost. I barely ever used it. When it happened, I used to always just roll great anyway, and we just used a momentum. So I went, why am I doing this? And of course, now.
Shouldn't we give this bold, actually, to
That
does
represent what sort of monster he is?
You gonna
Well,
give
but-
him bold engineering?
But
I'm not
wait,
gonna
wait,
give
wait.
him
But
bold.
his character, the way everybody's always played his character, has been sort of hesitant.
Yep,
So he
yep.
is a cautious man. Okay,
Yeah.
but he is a destroyer of worlds, but he's a cautious destroyer of worlds.
Right, like Oppenheimer.
Oh boy.
Just wreck everything.
Right.
Let's do this. What does Biss have to roll? Give it to him.
Well, he's gonna try to get that built up in the Bassard collectors. And as I've said, that's gonna take a little bit of time. So that'll, oh boy, coincidentally, that'll take. If you're willing to spend a momentum after to bring it down, it'll take the 6 hours.
Yeah, we'll spend
Okay.
the momentum.
We'll spend the momentum right
yeah.
now. I'll give it to you.
And this will be a control engineering difficulty's gonna be, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it's difficulty 3, and I'm gonna spend 2 threat to increase the complication range to 2.
Okay, Biss has got this. Will his
And-
focus in warp engines work?
Hmm.
Warp engines, computers, small craft, transporters, deflector technology, whichever.
I'm gonna allow deflector technology.
Woo, deflectors.
I'm gonna allow
Alright.
that.
I'm going to give Biss 3 momentum for 2 additional.
And the ship is also going to
Damn.
assist with its. Hang on. The ship's also going to assist with its. I think this is gonna be. Structure engineering.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready for this?
Hell yeah, brother.
Steady as she goes.
So you are using your second crew support.
Hot damn, Biss. Alright, we're gonna re-roll that one.
Nice.
Alright, Biss. Alright, you're doing good, Biss. You're doing good. Come on, ship. Damn straight.
Damn straight.
And I looked and beheld a pale horse, and the rider that sat on him was Death,
So
and Biss followed with him.
so yeah. Here's how I'll say this. Zonin, you're standing there and you're watching this. You're watching this Andorian, and he just goes to work on this computer terminal. And honestly, you could say he could give your neural interface a run for its money. With how deftly he's making this console sing.
So how much momentum did we get off of that?
I think 2.
Okay.
Mm.
Mhm.
So there you go. That's the end of your 12 hours. Now Volok and Rugan on the planet's surface.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do?
Well, gotta attempt this wonderful task again.
Actually, I have an idea what you guys could do, if you'll allow. Perhaps instead of trying to replicate more out of the replicator, perhaps there's a way you could modify the replicator itself to produce food that is more nutritious, which
Well,
can be
that's-
rationed more
that's
effectively.
That's essentially what they're doing.
Are they? I
Either-
thought they were just trying to mass produce more.
Yeah,
No, no.
either way, that's what this task is gonna be.
Yeah.
More and better.
Yeah, if you're trying to squeeze more out of the replicator somehow, this is gonna be this extended task I have set up.
Yep. And I'm going to attempt to use either my value better with machines than people, or on to the next miracle.
I will allow onto the next miracle. The reason I was gonna not allow better with machines than people is because very specifically this task involves you
People.
having to
Yeah.
coordinate a bunch of people to operate these
Yeah.
replicators. So no.
Yep, on to the next miracle.
Yes. This is
Oh,
this is you trying to get the oil to burn for 7 days.
Here's another
Yeah.
additional 2 momentum for an additional die.
Yep.
Cool.
So you got 2 successes already out of what was it?
5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I said it was difficulty 5?
I think you did, didn't you?
I think you spent threat though. Shit.
Oh, right. So
Well,
what's the standard?
I'm spending 2 threat now to make it difficulty 3.
Okay.
So you got
Which
one
we just
success.
hit. So Rugan, roll control engineering as an assist, and
No,
we
I
can
think
get
what it was
momentum.
last time was it was like only difficulty 3, but just Volok did not roll.
Yeah, I rolled awful.
Oh, well, you got it this time.
You got it that time.
Mhm.
So difficulty 3. Roll
So
your
yeah,
roll your
yeah,
eng.
so we gained some momentum there. Do.
How much did we get?
Well, he has to roll his
So-
challenge
Yep.
dice first.
Yep.
Oh,
But I mean,
challenge
the,
dice.
Three,
the
four,
momentum
five,
wise,
seven.
I used my determinations. That's automatically 2.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Okay, so 2, 4, 5. So we get 2.
Yeah, so you got 2 momentum.
Hmm.
What are you at?
Yep. So should be 4 then,
Yeah,
right?
where for? Where for?
4 momentum. Okay.
Mhm.
You got
Yep.
7 work
Right.
done. So that's
2,
2 breakthroughs.
6, 7. Yes.
2 breakthroughs right there.
Miracle
There's a
work.
momentum for the interval. Yeah.
Yep, so that only took you 6 hours. If you want to do this check again for the remaining 6 hours, the complication range is gonna go up by 1 because you're spending time now.
Getting tired.
Yep, you're pushing yourself.
Uh-huh.
Roll it again, my dude. And here's single momentum. The difficulty should be lower.
Yeah, difficulty is now 0.
Nice.
Take a momentum either way. So
Yep. So yeah,
Well,
we'll
he
see
doesn't
what
get
happens.
cautious anymore.
Yep, but it still helps.
Whose fault is that?
Hey, I barely ever used it.
Oh my god. 4,
There is
5,
And that-
6.
And that is why
This
he
is-
never used it.
Yes.
We capped out. Like we got 2 additional momentum.
Make an advantage.
Anything
yeah.
I can give you for those 2 additional momentum, Granny?
Well, see what he rolls on his challenge dice.
Yep.
Sure.
Let's see what happens first.
Because first off, you're gonna probably want to spend one of that to keep the time down.
Time. Yep.
So that's 1, 2,
5,
6.
6.
That's 6
Yep.
work, plus the 7 you already had. So that's 13.
13.
Yep.
So that's an additional. That's an additional how much? Two breakthroughs.
Yep.
This thing is done.
No, it's magnitude 6.
No, yeah, it's a magnitude.
Oh,
6.
and you got 4. Okay. So here's one for the interval. Can we use an additional 2 momentum to purchase another
Remember,
interval?
we went over. We went over cap on momentum.
Yes. So.
So
Oh,
you
okay,
still have
yeah,
still
so-
at stake. Yep.
So
Technically, we
could
still have
we-
1 floating.
Could we use 2 additional momentum to purchase an interval to make this roll take half the time?
Well, you already did.
Yeah.
So it was
But,
already
but to
6.
half it even more.
Nope.
Mm.
Nope.
I'm not breaking that down anymore.
You can
But I-
reroll the challenge dice, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I can re-roll the ones I missed
Yeah.
with the other floating one.
Okay, go ahead. Roll 3 challenge list.
So yeah, gotta roll 3 more. Whoops, not. Almost made that 37.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, roll 37 challenge dice. What would that even look like?
Yeah, I don't even know.
No, there you go.
Okay.
An additional 16 now.
Okay. So
So
that's,
yeah, okay.
So that's.
Gained 3 more.
So that's 9. So you're at 16 work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all right, and you're at full momentum. That's the end of your 12-hour thing.
Yep.
So, I assume that at the end of your thing, Jacoby, are you gonna take your 6-hour rest?
Moi? Sure. Yeah, I'll take my 6-hour rest.
Okay,
And
perfect.
the chief as well will take his 6-hour rest along with me.
Okay, so
That's good rest.
yeah, okay. Give me just a moment.
Gonna take a cat nap.
Haha.
I don't need a catnap, man. I'm fine. I feel great. Really, seriously.
That's good.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
Yeah, seriously. Is your leg hurt? I can heal your leg.
Chew 5
I can
gum.
heal anything.
I can heal anything. By God, Jim, I'm beginning to think I can heal a rainy day.
That's such a good line.
Emulate your senses.
37.
Oh boy. I very much wish my I very much wish that my thing would actually I think while you guys are doing that while I'm trying to set this thing up, can you guys run down what all the times are at?
Oh,
Oh
God.
dear.
I know,
Alright,
I feel
so,
awful.
The
that I'm
times are not
making-
real.
so we were at 30 if I remember correctly, and we all spent 12 hours without really gaining any. So 12 hours just went down from 30, so we're at 18.
18 hours left till the
Is my mathematics wrong? I'm
No,
sorry,
you're
I
right.
failed it.
You're right.
You got 18 hours till the place runs out.
Till doomsday, yeah.
Yeah, doomsday.
3 intervals.
And then we also said that the chief and I will take a 6-hour break each. So we're down to 12, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now everything is not responding.
So we're down to 12, but everyone
Total
that's
hours
not-
are now 66, I think, if I'm... No, wait.
Let's talk about remaining hours, though.
Mhm.
So the chief and I will have 12 hours at our disposal, while the rest of you will have 18 if you don't choose to rest.
So I think that puts Jacoby, that puts you at 72, right?
fairly certain it does, I think. I'm not certain. We have 12 hours left. Me and the
Yes.
chief. That's all I...
God, it sucks because I'm trying to stall while I set this thing up, but Google Chrome is just not responding.
Gosh dang it, Chrome.
Yeah, Roll20 is just not responding. to
And
me.
so, Doctor,
Oh,
are you
it's
gonna
quite
be
on
okay?
two
Is your
times.
wife gonna beat you with a...
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're about towards the end of this, so yeah, I think so. And then I'll just cook a really good dinner.
Sort of, kind of.
I hope your wife doesn't have a strong right arm,
You see,
so she
I'm-
can't...
Oh, she does.
I'm pissed.
does.
Because
She does.
I'm pissed because I knew this was gonna be a long one.
Oh,
I'm pissed about that. So, let me throw us on the bridge.
well, how much longer is long?
I don't know. I hate that. Because, and especially like when you said, I know I'm gonna have to leave, I was hitting myself because, oh no, this is a.
Well, could we continue it next week?
I think we can. Okay, yes, we can, and I know.
Sorry, guys, but
No,
it's
wait, hang on. I know exactly where to end it. But
okay.
I know exactly where to end it, but I do need, I do need you all to keep track of those hours because
Gotcha.
as has been said, this is and it's okay that this can go into next week because you're going to be out here for a while anyway in game.
Okay.
So you guys so Jacoby, let me make sure I have my ambiance correct. Not the sick bay. We just want the bridge, Voyager Bridge. So Jacoby, yeah, you and Joyce walk out onto the bridge.
Having successfully returned from our voyages down on the planet.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so disappointed. I had this incredible vision of this jacked up pilot and doctor with the doctor in command, barnstorming the planet.
Oh god.
Okay, who else is on the bridge except us?
Who else would be on the bridge?
Yeah, I think Tev and Blackwell and this are all just working on all that.
Red shirts then. Okay,
Usual background characters.
I'll ping the comm badge. Dr. Blackwell, status report.
Everything's fine, Captain.
Nothing's blown up yet.
Understood, Doctor. Thank you very much. Commander Vlog, status report.
Work is coming along, sir, but it is to be expected.
Understood. Keep at it. Chief?
Well, the chief is standing right next to you.
Right, yeah. Chief?
You really don't need your combat cert.
No, you're right. Sorry, just go to your quarters, get some rest.
Well, you've
I'm
already
gonna
gotten.
go-
Well, you've already gotten rest.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
already gotten rest.
Yes.
Okay.
This is after you have woken up.
This is Starfleet. There's never enough breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief. What do we got to do now?
Well, you gotta do the whole bit with
Hold on. I have
walking through the planet and all that, on how to do all that crap. What is it?
So, like, we've set up we've gotten the healthy plant immunized.
Yeah,
And so
that
then
stuff.
we've got it
So
set
you-
up where we can spray the antifungal from the ship's Bassard collectors, as basically literally, that we're going to use the Hadfield as a big ass crop duster for the planet.
Planetary crop dusting.
Because this is what happens when the medical officer and the pilot start taking stimulants.
Joyce, I sent you a thing.
Oh my god.
Okay, one sec. Picking up a warp signature on sensors.
Oh no.
Okay. When is the ship supposed to arrive again, Chief? Our backup, that is?
A week and a half was what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we about to get ganked?
as slowly dropping in out of warp in orbit around the planet.
It's gonna be a Romulans, I know it.
Cardassians.
Did that
It's
work?
okay. I'm gonna have to take care of Romulans. I got a couple neural calipers right here.
Nausicaans.
Nausicaans.
Who is it?
Zincathri.
No, god damn it,
Ferengi.
why isn't this working? What layer did I have? Oh, that's the layer I had it on. There we go.
It's the Ferengi! Oh, I guessed it right!
Oh man, just photon torpedo these assholes.
And that,
Hang
and that,
on, I know how to deal with them.
and that is where we are going to end Speed of Blight for tonight.
Nice.
Oh, for crying